All right, this is gonna be a long form video review. I'm not even playing music or nothing. No intros. Donate to the links in the description box. That's it. All right, here we go. I'm just jumping right in. What channel is this? Channel is Dad Saves America. I've been asking for. I've been asking for Little League dads to save the country, and Little League moms. Don't forget them. They bring orange slices and Gatorade and shit. Anyways, from Dad Saves America, Jimmy Dore. I'm pro free speech and anti-war, so that makes me right wing. Okay. Well, let's see where this goes. Once again, I'm curious to hear Jimmy Dore in more of a long form format where he actually has to explain his answers, so I can see like what's going on here. Is he just traumatized from the Democratic Party, where he's like, I have to go against them, traumatized. I have to like borderline ignore some of the other problems, especially when Trump's campaigning. You can't bring up all the problems then. Can't do that. Wait till he gets elected. It's funny. All the problems that were happening during Trump's first 4 years in office are all happening in this administration already, or this term already. And people are like, whoa, where's this coming from? Trump, you're going to lose your base. What if you do this? Pause. And it's like, he's going to lose his, like, he had 4 years of just doing exactly the same thing. But now people are surprised that he's doing the same things he did during his first, the college campus shit of protesting Israel and all that shit was already a thing in his first 4 years. He did it kind of late and didn't really get into it. But now he is. So it's like I guess he's just speeding up what he was already doing his first 4 years. Anyways, here we go. Here's Dad Saves America with Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy
cool graphic,
Dore.
Nice cameras.
Welcome to Dad Saves America, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
So I went to your show last night, and when your Mike said, hey, you can come by the show today, I was super pumped because
He looks like a filmmaker.
I have been watching.
I can't say a good one, but he looks like a filmmaker.
At least since the
Look at
start
those glasses.
of COVID.
Oh,
And the thing that's so
A hair and
interesting
glasses,
to me,
bro.
and this is where I want to kind of start our conversation, is you are a comedian. You came up through sort of progressive politics. I'm like a right winger, libertarian oriented, and yet I love watching your stuff. And I feel like that combo is
Right wing and filmmaker do not make good. It's not a good mixture, except for some Mel Gibson movies. But he probably wasn't even right wing when he made those. He joined the right wing because, like, damn, people will forget about me screaming about a pack of N words. I can't say the word I want to say because fuck it, pack of niggers, fucking raping. I'm quoting YouTube. I'm quoting Mel Gibson. He's the one who said it. Okay, I'm quoting him. You gave me the test. I passed it. It's educational. I'm quoting the despicable things that Braveheart said to his like ex-wife or some shit. He also wanted a blowjob before he got into the jacuzzi. All right, here we go.
as part of this weird political realignment. That's
if I get a
taking
strike,
place.
guys,
like,
you
I
know
know
what
like
happened.
half
A
your
black
audience
guy
is
said
probably people
the
more
N-word.
like me, and
YouTube doesn't like
how
that.
do you think about what's happening with
Well,
realignment?
But you have black friends, don't
I'll
you?
just say this. I think that
What?
But you have black friends, don't you?
Yeah, I have black friends, black family. My parents are black. I know a lot of black people, man. So I have the N-word pass. The neighborhood OG gave me the N-word pass. All right, here we go.
With
Well-
realignment that's going on.
I'll just say this. I think that Democrats and people who I considered or consider themselves liberal, the liberal class has become illiberal, right? They've abandoned what it means to be a liberal. Like I always, I sometimes make a joke in my act about, I'm for freedom of speech. I'm against censorship. I'm for bodily autonomy. I'm pro-choice. I'm anti-war. and that makes me a right winger now.
Yeah.
That's what it's amazing, right? And the liberals are rabid censorship for censorship. They're completely pro-war, right? They've been completely hoodwinked by the propaganda about Putin and Russia, and they don't know. That's the thing about Americans. They're the most propagandized people in the world, and they have no idea.
Well, I'll say this. As far as censorship, that's both sides, Jimmy. As far as pro-war, that's both sides, Jimmy. Maybe they pick out different wars they want to go to, just like during when Obama was campaigning when Obama was going against John McCain, and during the debates, one argued for why we should be in Iraq, the other argued for why we should be in Afghanistan. Either way, whichever one got in office, they'd still do both of them, just like Obama did both of those wars. He stayed in both those countries, and in fact expanded to other countries. So, and then Trump comes in and expands, same thing. He's like, Obama, save some for me. Leave some countries alone so that I can invade them.
I was on mute and I didn't realize it, so I'm gonna ask you for the fourth time. Did you file your black card with YouTube?
Shut up. Anyways, Republicans went to Trump and like, yo, this Yemen war with Saudi Arabia, like that, it's a massacre. It's just war crimes out the ass happening here. We need to stop giving them weapons. Trump's like, shut up. I'm going to give them weapons. It's part of my plan. So it's like, so I don't know why he says, where did all the liberals go? Like, well, are the people you were looking for to be liberals? Were they ever that in the first place? If he's going that direction, like, oh, the left, or these guys that call themselves to be on the left are not actually on the left. You could say that. But then again, you'd be saying everyone who is not you is on the right or something, who doesn't agree with you. It doesn't make sense. That's why, fuck this stupid political bullshit. How about trying to do the right thing? What's righteous? What are your moral principles? That is it. Let's go with that. And then we'll make policy around the morals and the principles. I thought that's what it was supposed to be, but I guess not. I guess you need a political affiliation, you need a team, and you need a team to fight, apparently. Yeah. I don't understand how any of that, like, once again, I think his assessment in the first place was way off, way fucking off. To where he's like, Trump is to the left of Biden. When he says shit like that, that's when you lose me, Jimmy. That's just so far off where it's like, damn, that's... You got rocks for brains at that point. But anyways, here we go.
Right, people in China know when they're being propagandized, right? And people in the old Soviet Union knew when they were being People in America think like, wait, I don't know. Well, I'm just watching the news. Even though Chomsky wrote Manufacturing Consent and 30 years ago, they still think they're not being their consent is not being manufactured, which it is. It's just it's amazing to me. So anyway, the realignment. I mean, look at the people there's a lot of Democrats surrounding. Trump used to consider himself a Democrat. Matt Taibbi, Elon Musk, right? I'm pretty sure he voted for Joe Biden, right? Let's see, Tulsi Gabbard was the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. So it's there definitely is, and I subscribe to what I'm more on. I know there's a lot of people who are actual lefties who are hypercritical of Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Kash Patel, and I'm like, yeah, I have big disagreements with
Disagreements
Trump and Kash and Pam Bondi and Tulsi.
Do you have big disagreements with the Democratic Party, Jimmy? Or do you have like, these guys are evil? It's like, what? I want to hear that. I want to hear that answered. I don't think the guy's going to ask it, but like, let's see if Jimmy says it. Like, just says it.
And Kash and Pam Bondi and Tulsi and RFK, but I also have lots of agreements with them, right? So I think it's
like
you got to be able to, it doesn't, people are always talking about, oh, you think Elon's intentions are, with doing Doge. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what his intentions are. It only matters in politics. It only matters what the outcome is. It only
See, and there it is. There's the exact opposite of my shit. Because guess what? The intentions do matter, Jimmy. I think they matter a lot as far as material results. It actually means quite a bit because it dictates what the next move is. If Elon Musk is like, well, I'm going to cut billions of dollars from the federal government that's spending this over here and over there. And Jimmy's like, yeah, doesn't matter what his intention is. That's good. Well, now you just praise this guy, boosted up the narrative. So now when he makes a pivot to another move, he has Jimmy Dore's support. It's Jimmy waiting for them to do something bad, basically.
What do you think Doge's intentions are?
Depends on which particular thing. One would be, I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit involved in regards to this because this guy doesn't actually work for the government, but somehow he's kind of like if he had to work for them, they'd have to do like a normal job, right?
Yes.
No.
It's an executive position.
It's like an advisory type thing that Elon Musk is doing, right?
It isn't.
So they've investigated him. They went through his finances. They investigated him to make sure he's not a spy, make sure he's not this, make sure he's not that, make sure he's not doing corrupt shit with his own businesses. They make sure there's no not quid pro, but what's it called? He's not benefiting from any actions being taken, right? They did all that investigating then, right, Dubster? Because he works for them.
They are doing those things.
They are doing it, they didn't do it yet. It's March, man. Oh, they did it already.
They did it.
Where? I didn't hear about it. Where is that?
He's not allowed to work on any space programs.
No. That's not official capacity shit. It's just like it sounds like they're just saying it. Like, okay, you can't do this.
Yeah, he can't do anything of conflict of interest.
And who would have thought that Mr. Richest guy in the world, tech guy, might have a conflict of interest in regards to national spending? Oh my god.
Like what?
Like
what has he done that would be a conflict of interest? USAID?
Well, he already
Department of Education? Like, where's his conflict of interest that's already shown?
as far as Department of Education, these guys turn these things into fucking magnet schools or essentially for-profit schools. I think he would have a long-term interest in that. Versus the idea of public education, right?
Colleges are for-profit schools. What are you talking about?
There are state colleges, you dumb fuck.
They're for-profit.
Oh my god, he's a human shield for these fucking idiots. He's most likely
think community
corrupt.
college is for-profit?
Okay, in a roundabout way,
Schools are
sure, but
subsidized?
they're not supposed to be. That's the whole point, Dubster. They're not supposed to be like that.
But they have been your entire life.
Yes, essentially, but that's not supposed to work that way.
Okay,
Whatever.
I'll let you get back to your video.
Also, Doge, what? Saving money here to spend it in somewhere else, some other country. Israel, allegedly. Also, maybe firing people that would be actually working to investigate him and his offshore adventures. Or even domestic adventures. Would that be a conflict of interest? I think it would be.
Who's investigating him that he's already crossed? SEC? I don't think he's touched SEC yet, but he's talked about getting
Not
into
the SEC. No. Jesus Christ. Allegedly, certain federal workers, where their departments were supposed to be, like possibly investigating him. Not the SEC though.
I don't know. What I'm trying to think of what that would be that he's already done.
Well, I don't think he's really done much in the first place, but it's more of the idea of what he could possibly do, where he won't have any real like. There's no what's the word? checks and balances
Oversight.
for him, essentially.
Yeah, like some form of oversight.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to share any of his records or any of this shit, right? Because he doesn't officially work there. Like, I'm just an advisor. I give advice
No,
to the
but
guy to the people that are actually
Doge,
running Doge.
Doge is just a change of a name of a executive office that's existed since before Obama.
Yes.
Just forget what it's called. So he is part of the government.
No, but I don't think he's the official head of the thing. I think he's like there's someone else's name is actually at the top of the like they're the official guy running Doge. Elon's just a advisor, allegedly.
They're saying he's interconnected to the Treasury.
Interconnected?
Like that's the head of Treasury is like his equal or whatever.
Well, let's give it a look. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash. Let's see. Elon Musk.
Like Treasury is supposed to handle all the money.
I just Googled it. Elon Musk isn't actually in charge of Doge, White House says.
Doge has a new acting administrator, but Elon Musk is still in charge. Essentially meaning he runs it, but quote unquote officially.
So it is like he's a consultant. So he's like a consultant.
Amy Gleason now holds the title of acting Doge administrator.
Okay.
He's a senior advisor to the president.
Yeah.
Consult. Okay.
Did I say that? Whatever. All right. But yeah, there's once again I have to look more into it and get you more of the details upstairs. But I believe there's some things that were allegedly cut that may have some sense of conflict of interest. And also, everyone's beholden praise of Israel, where we cut money from certain things, which, once again, could be used as CIA outfits for regime change, right? But also on the surface are named in some sense of charity, right? Or helping other people out thing. Or people on the ground may believe they're actually helping other people, right?
Any president could do that and have done that, right?
Yeah, but it's so brazenly. Like, take funding from
not
there.
Right.
Well, it take billions from there, and then all of a sudden there's more billions going to Israel. It's kind of like the idea, right? The optic of it was, oh, we're America. We got homeless in America. Look at all the homeless in America, and we're spending all this money willy nilly for no fucking reason. Let's take that money back. And it's like, as soon as they take it back, they're giving it away to someone who's not American, right? All of a sudden, that and then some, right? We're worried about the budget, but you're dumping $20 billion in what, 3 months to a foreign country who's already steamrolling an entire population of people? It's kind of crazy, is it not? I do think some of that I think part of it's to help them with Lebanon and Syria and also Ukraine. I think Israel will send money to Ukraine through some of the billions that they got from America.
I didn't hear 80% of what you just said. I'm driving, so I'm not
my bad.
Clear signal. No, I just didn't hear 80% of what you said.
No, I'm just saying. I'm thinking the billions that go to Israel aren't just for Israel. They go to, well, it's Israel in Lebanon, Israel in Syria, Israel in other places, and Israel sending money to Ukraine actually, which means the funding did the funding really stop? If Israel's taking some of their billions that they're getting and they give it to Ukraine, was there a real halt? Either way, he lifted the hold. So now we're directly funding them.
Yeah, we never stopped directly funding them since the 80s.
Ukraine? I'm saying that the recent where he said I put a stop on it. No, Israel, yeah.
Oh, a week off.
I was saying Ukraine, though. Like, where there's a claim on the hold on it, but if we're funding Israel and Israel's funding Ukraine with some of the money we're giving them, and weapons we're giving
Oh,
them.
are they?
Allegedly,
I
that's
didn't know that.
something I've heard as well.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
But
Because Ukraine's the real homeland for Israel.
I don't know.
That's where Khazaria is.
Okay, well, I'm going with geopolitics, creepy actions happening right now. You can do your history thing. Anyways, let's continue on with Jimmy Dore here, and how just I agree with him on a lot of things. Like, I think if we actually see what it's about to play out, I don't think you do. Let's see. Maybe
Elon's
Tulsi? I don't know.
intentions are, with doing Doge. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what his intentions are.
It does
only
matter.
In politics, it only matters what the outcome is. It only, we'll know them by their fruits. Like, what do they do? It's like, I say,
But the ends are never the ends these motherfuckers want to happen. So that's why I'm like, huh.
That's the constant Republican call out on the left, communism, Democrats, whatever angle you want to go with. You always say their
You can't even speak without a
thing
bias,
is
can you? You can't.
means justify the ends.
Okay.
So if that's really how he's going about it, he's under that mindset still. Means justify the ends.
No, I think he's saying, like, whatever the result is, I'll say whether I like it or not. But that's after the case, right? But it's like that's not how Jimmy Dore does politics, though. What I've seen, he's saying like, oh, these guys, like when he's talking about Biden, right? Biden's going to do this. He's preemptively saying these things, and yet with these other guys, he's like, oh, let's see what happens. And you know what? It doesn't matter about his intention. Let's whatever the results are or what the results are, and then I'll judge those. Like, wait a minute, you can't predict Elon Musk doing something horrible, like off rip. Even if he does something that you think is good on the surface, could be a play for something else later on. Is that out of bounds for Elon Musk? I don't fucking think so. Is that out of bounds for Donald Trump? No, it's not. We've already seen that. So, like, why is there a preemptive action with these guys and not one for these guys? That sounds like an old man out of shape and out of hope. He's like, fuck it, I'll take it. Please, just work. And as he's watching in real time now, he's watching it all fail. He's watching it all fall down, all the hope disappearing. I just did a video where Tulsi was going to hire this lieutenant.
For his
God.
When he did direct democracy arguments, he was always saying things means justify the ends.
Okay, but I think what he's saying there, right here, is like, I don't care about your intention. Show me results. Like, I just want him to. He's saying, I don't care if Elon's reason for cutting spending in one area is just for his own self-satisfaction, as long as he cuts spending in this place. But I'm like, there's things that the Democratic Party will do that you'd have to go with the same philosophy. But I doubt you will. I think you would preemptively be like, these guys are bad. So it's like he's holding out hope for blatant neocon-ass motherfuckers, bro. And even someone like Tulsi Gabbard, who I just did a video on, I'm going to release soon, where she wanted to hire this, what's his name? Daniel Davis? Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, or former Lieutenant Colonel or whatever, right? An Army guy, but he said some things about Israel, and thus the administration said, Tulsi, you can't hire him. Sorry. Pass. Next. Meaning the person who may actually have intentions that you actually look forward to, Jimmy, is still getting fucking sidelined by people that you don't care about their intentions with. So it's like, it really is idiocracy. I don't think you realize how dumb he fucking sounds saying this shit. I don't care about their intentions. Show me the results. Like, no, bro, the intentions matter, because if you think the guy's like some seething little creep motherfucker that's going to secretly screw you over later, you can't let them get cookies. Can't give them brownie points. In fact, I don't think if you do the right thing, you don't need credit for it. You don't need a reward for it. You don't need a handshake. You don't need an applause. Like, you should be doing the right thing, you dumb fuck. It's that simple. But these guys need to feel the need, because I think subconsciously, or maybe even consciously, they think, oh, Trump has some sort of narcissistic personality, and if you if you just applaud him when he does something you like, he'll keep doing it because he wants to be loved. Meanwhile, the whole entire internet's yelling at him, yo, this is not free speech. I don't give a shit. He doesn't care about you, bro. You fucking trolling me? His narcissism, bro. He's got bigger fish to fry, bigger things to deal with. He's got bigger generals with bigger mouths, with bigger platforms, with bigger everything. Pause. That he talks directly with, not fucking Joe Blow on YouTube. I don't understand the thinking. Like, it's like if he was consistent, I'd be like, okay, well, he's consistent about it, right? It's all about the results. It had nothing to do with their intentions. He would not be preemptively going at people, quote unquote Democrats. He wouldn't be preemptively doing that unless he was just strictly just cared about results. I know they're gonna fuck it up though. Like, okay, I can believe that too, but the evidence behind like these creepers that are in the Trump administration and Trump himself, like, how is that not obvious what's gonna happen? Seems pretty. He had 4 years of it. You saw it happen. He's just redoing the same things he did in the first 4 years, or a lot of things he did the first 4 years. It's fucking weird, but anyways.
His intentions are. It only matters in politics. It only matters what the outcome is. It only
that sounds smart on an HD camera, but sounds wrong in real life.
What did they do? It's like I say, it didn't matter if Lincoln freed the slaves because he thought it was going to help him get laid. It didn't matter what his intention was. It mattered what the outcome was. That's all that matters. That's what they call making legislation, making sausage. And you don't want to see how it's done. It only matters what the outcome is. So I'm more in line with.
Well, Jimmy, what's worse? Being a slave or being a freed slave who gets treated like a slave? There's a lot of people who essentially stayed in slavery. Hold on. There's a lot of people who essentially stayed in slavery after, quote-unquote, slavery ended. Now, once again, you can play the trolley car experiment and say, we'll spare those 10 to save these 20. But that ain't righteousness. As long as you, just explain that to your audience, that you're not here to do the right thing. It's not about doing the right thing. It's about just getting some sort of result happening, some sort of material result. You see why politics is the bottom of the fucking barrel? Jesus Christ, man. He freed slaves and then re-enslaved them under a different name. Not him personally, but the whole... If you don't care about the person, you care about the results. The results were also bad. Fuck, it's also bad.
I thought Trump ran on transparency, right? So isn't that what makes the sausage? You do want to see how the sausage is made.
But we already know he'll openly lie, though. I want to know.
I'm talking about Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore just said you don't want to see how the sausage. The whole idea was Trump was running on transparency, so we do want to see how the sausage is. Like, we want to make sure there's no ricin put in there. Rat poison.
Exactly. But I guess that wasn't Jimmy's thing. Jimmy wanted just material results. Like, end the war in Ukraine, but what if he takes that funding and uses it somewhere else? Get troops out of Syria. What if he takes the troops out and just moves them to Iraq, which he did already in his first 4 years? In fact, actually, there are still troops in northern Syria as we speak today. There are still U.S. troops there.
Yeah, we just killed some Iraq general or something. ISIS leader that's in Iraq. Yeah, we attacked Yemen today too.
Yeah, I did a video on that. We bombed Yemen. For Houthi fighters. Let's be real, most of them will be innocent civilians that get killed, but you'll get some of those Houthis too. Worth it. Hashtag worth it. Hashtag material results. Anyways, let's continue. It's illogical. I know it sounds nice because he says it very calm, and he's on HD cameras, and the microphones are really good. But for me, morally, I'm like, yo, I wish Eckhart Tolle would smack you in the fucking face. Like, wake up, Jimmy! You forgot what we're here for, Jimmy! Smacks him in the face. Anyways, here we go.
And you don't want to see how it's done. It only matters what the outcome is. So I'm more in line with I know Chris Hedges, who I respect a lot. He's
more in line.
Very in line with
I need to figure that in
right?
full.
So I think it's you got to be able to, it doesn't, people are always talking about, oh, you think Elon's intentions are, with doing Doge. And I'm like, it
Okay,
doesn't
so it's Elon, the Trump administration, Tulsi, RFK. Okay, those are the names you said.
matter what his intentions are. It only matters in politics. It only matters what the outcome is. And only, we'll know them by their fruits. Like, what did they do? It's like, I say, it didn't matter if Lincoln freed his slaves because he thought it was going to help him get laid. It didn't matter what his intention was.
That sounds
It mattered
cute.
what the outcome was. That's all that matters. That's what they call making legislation, making sausage. And you don't want to see how it's done. It only matters what the outcome is. So I'm more in line with I know Chris Hedges, who I respect a
You're
lot,
more in line
is
with them. Okay.
very down on everything.
So when I say that shit and people tell me that shit, he's saying he's more in line with them. Now, what did he mention in this? He mentioned Doge. What did he else? He mentioned something that was kind of recent, right? Like, I want to know when this interview was recorded because, like, for sure, the free speech on college campus shit is happening, right? Protesting. He's for sure that happened, right? For sure, Ukraine, funding Ukraine, giving them weapons, lifting the ban on intelligence, the billions to Israel, the bombing of Somalia. Maybe he doesn't know about the Yemen one yet, but the other things he should know about already. So, are you more aligned with them? From your stated principles, are you more in line with them? If it's about material results, why do you protest your audience? Why do you yell at your audience about doing the right thing and punching up? Those are statements about character and integrity and honor and morality. Why do you project that? Why do you project the Howard Beale character from Network? Why do you project that if it's just about material results? Who cares what they mean to do? It's just about what happens. Are you just saying like, oh, they're all corrupt, but let's roll the dice with these guys and see what happens? That doesn't sound like I'm mad as hell. I ain't gonna take it anymore. Doesn't sound like that.
Oh,
He's not
by the
gonna roll
way,
the dice with any Democrats.
Exactly. Do you see that anywhere in this thing we just listened to? So, have you heard I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore? Has anyone seen an inkling of that shit yet? Is that an act?
in this interview,
Based on what he says, on what he supports politically. Does that sound like fucking I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore? Fuck
He's
no,
not
it
mad
doesn't.
anymore.
He's not mad anymore. He had a good foot massage. He went to the spa a little bit earlier today. You know, he got a facial pause. Now he's got an HD camera and a nice microphone. Fuck my
by the
life.
way, we had a general go on Fox today that said Iran does not understand diplomacy; they only understand force.
Well, that was the other part of bombing the Houthis. Iran, like it was
Yeah.
directly. Basically, the entire thing is about Iran. Damn near.
Yeah.
Like as far as like politically or statement wise, what you say to the audience, it's about Iran. What he's actually doing, he's killing people in Yemen. Let's be honest. That's what's happening. But for the audience, he wants them to see like Iran's a big bad guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, there we go.
See how it's done. It only matters
not
what
see
the
that, by the way,
outcome
don't
is.
you? I
So
didn't
I'm
see
more in line with I know Chris Hedges, who I respect a lot, is very down on everything that's happening, and he just thinks that they're all just a criminal enterprise and they're grifting and they're collapsing in on themselves. And I'm
There's
like,
that.
I actually see them stopping the Ukraine war, telling
Ah!
Europe, you're on your own. We're not going to.
Oh! I guess he didn't get the news that they lifted the intelligence ban and started refinancing and shipping weapons to Ukraine. And also, as I said, giving that money to Israel goes to Ukraine. A lot of it goes to Ukraine, allegedly. So I guess he missed out on that one.
I just got done listening to Trump's DOJ speech yesterday, but I listened to it like 20 minutes before it came on here.
Yeah.
It's only defensive
Yeah.
javelins that he's sending over to Ukraine.
Sure.
Tank busters.
Same,
Because that's
same thing as
defensive.
before. Same thing as before.
Yeah, that's defensive.
But what is that? If it's a peace deal, what does that say to Russia?
Yeah, yeah.
And what deal are you going to make with
It's a
Russia?
ceasefire. It's not a peace deal. It's a ceasefire until they agree on something. It's a ceasefire, and Russia's been saying, "Yeah, we know this ceasefire's fake, and they're just doing this to rearm
Yeah.
Ukraine."
And yeah, Russia's not going to go
And
with
they
a fucking
have.
ceasefire. They're not
And
gonna do it.
so one of the like battlefield reports right now is 12,000 Ukrainians are surrounded by Russian soldiers in Kursk region,
And
and
Putin's
like
going to let them go. Or in a
he was initially saying, they're not gonna be considered Ukrainian soldiers are going to be considered mercenaries, so that the prisoner of war thing does not apply. Kill them on sight. And then he changed his thing once Trump begged him to let them live.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he killed 1,400 people across or Russia's killed 1,400 people across the line, the battlefield line in 24 hours. But
Yeah.
he's gonna let them live, and I don't know what that means. Does that mean they become prisoners, or does that mean they're just let go?
I saw
wouldn't let them go
dudes
if it was me.
getting taken in handcuffs. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't speak to the legitimacy of that, but that's what I saw some videos of guys being walked away with handcuffs.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. But
I wouldn't let them go. I'd let them live in prison.
well, the thing is, like, I mean, Russia could have just made a move
we're at war,
to appeal to
yeah.
Ukrainian people and be like, "Yo, I take more care of your soldiers than your president does, bro. Look at us."
They do pamphlets and loudspeakers things saying like, "You've lost, surrender.
Yeah, they have to
We
give it.
might not kill you. If you hold your gun up above your head, we'll consider that surrendering."
Yeah, it's essentially. And they have to work on a deal. Like Russia's already like, "Yo, we want to end it outright and put some securities in there to make sure it doesn't just start up again after you leave office or whatever." Which is why they're saying no to a ceasefire, because, like you said, they think they'll fucking rearm up and then start fighting back again. Thus, it'll just keep going, right? So Russia's like, "No, we're just gonna keep fighting until there's a solidified, this is the end of the entire thing deal. No ceasefires.
Right,
Let's
because
end the entire thing."
Russia has the upper hand in the entirety. So it's like, it's our deal or no deal. We did Minsk 2 with you. You rejected it. Minsk 2 agreement.
Yeah.
You rejected it because England's leadership told you.
Point is, let's keep going. Like the end of the Ukraine war. He ended it. Pretty sure it was ending already, but all right, here we go.
Thinks that they're all just a criminal enterprise and they're grifting and they're collapsing in on themselves. And I'm like, I actually see them stopping the Ukraine war, telling Europe,
didn't.
you're on your own. We're not going to be there to protect you. Got, do your own thing militarily. And that excites me. I
Where?
like that they're purging the deep state. It's like
They're purging the
it's
deep
like
state.
they're getting rid of the.
Where is this happening
They
at?
fired people.
Where is this happening at? Come on, because it's. I think it's a lie at this point because people keep repeating. I'm like, where? I keep asking where. No one fucking shows me. Where is the deep state gone at? Where? Does he mean USAID? Like that's not it. There's already proof that they're continuing programs that were already going on beforehand that people were complaining about. Like, oh, this program in particular is really bad. They're ended up continuing some of the payments to that. I need to look into the details to get the exact names of each little fucking program that they're continuing payments on, or the things that got shifted from one place and moved to another, or moved under Marco Rubio, Neocon. Like there's that, but it's like it's like at this point it's like, are you misinformed or are you just lying? I can't tell at this point with where we're at. Sorry, Dubster.
Judges and congressmen, some senators need to be arrested for us to believe any of this shit.
Well, yeah.
You fired 6,000 people that we've never even gotten a single name of. Okay.
They're probably low-level workers too, bro. Right. Secretaries or something. Who fucking knows?
So you laid off the cleaners in the building. How's that the deep state?
We got rid of 83% of USAID. Like, what programs? We'll come up with details later. Unless they release it without me seeing it, I have not seen a detailed name of what has been cut. Or what programs are going to go directly under Marco Rubio at the State Department, which to me is more scary. That's more scary instead of it being just USAID, that now it's under Marco Rubio in the fucking State Department, where it has more, like, probably top secret fucking clear coverage, to where you can't get your hands on it. It'd be hard to FOIA it, yada yada yada. Like now it's like hidden now. It's like off books money looking shit. Go ahead, man.
Until Adam Schiff and Lindsey Graham are arrested, you haven't taken out the details. There's multiple names. No. But you haven't taken out the deep state until you take some of those big names we know. Nancy Pelosi, Jim Jeffries, Chuck Schumer,
and
Mitch McConnell.
The Epstein thing on its own would be is like an obvious one, right? That alone, where it's like there's no way around it. You were fucking with children. No way around it, right? But that's delayed, I guess, or not happening. Or I don't know. I don't know what's happening, where they're at with that.
Nothing. She's now got all the evidence, and it's not been released, according to her. According to her, Van Bondi.
Sorry, once again, sorry to be like, what the kids call it, black-pilled. Pause. Sorry to be like jaded about it or whatever, but it's like, it's just every point he's made, I'm like, bro, there are shit that you're just not, maybe you're just not looking at it on purpose. Maybe it'll take you a couple years like you usually are. You're usually late on everything. It'll take him a couple years before he's like, oh shit wasn't working in my favor. Oh fuck. It's like, that's why I call him out of shape, old man. Spirit, back broken ass motherfucker.
But the headlines, they said they save money in the tweets.
And I've heard they fudge numbers with that, with their tweets versus the actual paperwork is fudged.
Tweets, headlines. They don't have to do it if they already like tweeted about it, you know.
I'm wrecked, bro. All right, Jimmy. This is good. This is 4 minutes in. I don't know how far I'm gonna make it into this video, but it's like I just want to hear some explanations for things, and I think I'm getting them. Like now I'm starting to see a little bit more of his philosophy in regards to why, like, it has nothing to do with morality. It's just about, yo, do I get the result I want? But then I'm like, yo, you're not getting the results you want. Not in reality. But like, no, but I saw that tweet. A tweet about Doge cutting this or cutting that. And then when they say they cut 80
for him.
Good.
I'm waiting for Jimmy to. He keeps talking about the results, or like, but he's not being specific on what result he's looking for. Because you can't just like co-sign somebody else's policy exactly, right? Because that means it's not your. I mean, you could, but like, which ones? Because there's so many things here, right? Like, I'd like to see what end results Jimmy really is looking for. Because I mean, before he used to talk about like Medicare for all. He used to talk about that stuff and push for that. I mean, is that what he's looking for in this administration, or like, you know, what does he want? Yeah,
there's no chance.
Obviously. Yeah, but like, what does he want actually? You can't just say, well, just we'll see. And then,
You want
Yeah.
this baseball card collection to increase in value.
Here's the thing, Jesse. You can say, let's just see. It's just you can't be the guy on YouTube screaming about, I'm angry as hell and I ain't going to take it anymore. And then just say, let's wait and see. You can't be that guy and then doing that. That's my problem. That's about character. That's about integrity, bro. Forget about fucking, just average guy who's like, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what happens. Like, okay, I understand, dude. You're just not even into this shit. I mean, you should. You should be into it. But you're not, so I get it. But whatever. Okay. Play more, I guess.
We're not going to be there to protect. You got, do your own thing, militarily. And that excites me. I like that they're purging the deep state. It's like they're getting rid of it's like a revolution against the neocons. That's what it feels like to me. And again, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Marco Rubio's playing a role in taking down the neocons. Marco fucking Rubio, dude. Oh, fuck.
He's gonna go arrest Bill Crystal himself.
This had to have been filmed before college students are getting arrested for not liking Israel or something. Or for hate speech. This had to be shot and recorded before that, right? Had to have. There's no fucking way. If that's not the most neocon shit you've ever heard of, like, you guys are talking about Israel like this, you're terrorist sympathizers, aren't you? Kick them out of the country. If that's not straight from George W. Bush's fucking mouth and his administration, I don't know what to tell you. Once again, the Soleimani thing was off the back of Dick Cheney's propaganda about the Soleimani guy. Doesn't mean Soleimani's some fucking angel. I'm just saying, like, I think they bullshitted in order to have an excuse to go kill that dude. Bush couldn't pull it off. Trump did. Literally neocon shit. Is John Bolton not a neocon now? Is Marco Rubio not a neocon now? Are these guys just regular ass Republican? I don't think so. All right. Like, are there a bunch of Thomas Masseys surrounding Trump? Like, no, he's trying to get rid of him. So it's like, you tell me. Maybe
Right.
when Jimmy shot this interview, he didn't know about the Thomas Massey shit yet. He did a video on it.
Oh, one of the things that's going on is Roger Stone is having a pamphlet filled out to get Trump to give Ron Paul the award for it was the award that Biden gave to George Soros. What was that award?
I don't know, like Medal of Freedom or some shit.
Medal of Freedom.
Some ceremonial thing.
But if Trump's attacking Massey and Ron Paul's defending Massey right now, and he is, I've heard some interviews. He is defending Massey right now. Like, this is insane.
Oh yeah.
And Roger Stone trying to get a fucking what do they call it whenever you send 100,000 signatures to a president to address something?
I don't know. I don't know what that term is. Either way, it's going after Thomas Massey. God.
I think the term's aggressive grievances. It's just a petition that once 100,000 people sign it, must be at least acknowledged.
Stop it.
Yeah.
No, that could be true,
Publicly,
Dubster. But do they actually have to
part of the
do
Constitution.
that? Okay, that's
All they have to
lovely.
do is,
That's lovely. So is free
all they
speech,
have to
Dubster. Do they have to actually
once
follow that?
100,000 Yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
they do. And all they have to do is say, petition 190689. I object.
You
It
could
could
say
be
all
that
the law
simple.
shit you want, Dubster, but his cabinet won't care. His advisors won't care. Most of the American people won't know about it. I'm telling you, he doesn't have to do anything.
Well, he doesn't
you
even
could
have
get
to read the title of the petition. He doesn't. He could just read out the petition number, blah, 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 and just say, no, we decline petition.
But he doesn't
He
even have
doesn't
to do
say
that,
publicly.
Dubster.
He
doesn't
can
have to
he
do
can
that.
write it down in some public forum, and it can just be as simple as no.
He doesn't have to even do that, Dubster. You could say he has to, like, oh, the laws, but these guys don't follow the fucking law, dude. They make it whatever they want it to be, for whatever's convenient, for whatever the fuck they want to do. We've seen that. We've already seen that. That's the case. So he doesn't have to
You're
fucking do that.
correct. You're correct, but they always address these petitions, even if it's simply a written response that's a one-worded response. Yes, no.
I think he'd be nice to Ron Paul and obviously to Roger Stone. He'd be nice to these guys. But if it was something where it's like, we want you to address the war crimes with this, or that, he ain't gonna fucking do it. So it's just, yeah, sure he'd do it for pageantry and to fucking win some of Ron Paul's audience members or fans or supporters or whatever. But that's still not what I think Ron Paul would. I would hope Ron Paul would decline. I would hope he would decline because, like, yo, you don't stand for what I stand for, bro. I don't want you doing any. I don't want you putting any fucking medals on me. But Ron Paul might. He's an old man. He might fold on it. Who knows?
91 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. But oh man, that's nice. To think he could still move Trump to the right by accepting this medal. Like maybe I can move him to less spending by just accepting this medal. Right? He might think that, but it's like, sorry, Ron. You gotta recognize you're in a room full of fucking vipers and shit right now, bro. This ain't some regular ash. These ain't regular people you're dealing with.
Ron Paul don't like what Trump's doing.
Oh, I know. I've seen his videos.
He's made it clear. He's made it clear.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of odd with the whole thing about Doge and talking about like reducing government or reducing government spending. If 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 he's not really getting along with like Massey or Rand Paul or like the only
Ron.
people who've ever Rand like that, the only people who like really are in Congress that ever push for those type of like reductions, right? That's
He fights
kind
them.
of that's crazy.
It's in your face.
And,
but guess what? Hold on, real quick, Dubster.
We're on the
Real quick. The MAGA guys, a lot of the MAGA crew that supported Trump, they don't even know really about. They don't know Ron Paul or Thomas Massey or Rand Paul. They don't know these fucking guys, bro. So
They don't like
or
him.
Jim Jordan. They don't know these fucking people, dude. So that's not why the reason. That's not the reason they voted for him, and thus Trump probably feels like I don't have to fucking appease these motherfuckers. Like straight up, I don't have to appease them. Go ahead.
Speaking of this issue, the CR bill was passed yesterday, but on Wednesday, after I got off the Discord with you, I found this 8-minute clip of Thomas Massey saying 8 Democrats are going to flip in the Senate to pass this CR bill. Mm-hmm. Watch. Just sit back and watch. It's a fake fight. And guess what? It was 8 Democrats that flipped on the
I thought it was 10.
CR bill.
I thought it was 10. Schumer leading the charge. Okay. I think 10 flipped. I think 10 flipped.
Thomas Massey predicted saying this is a fake fight. They're going to pass it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just another fucking, like, here's a thumbnail into this. I don't have Namastad powers. The guy that can predict the future.
I don't know. Oh, what's his name?
It's almost like a rigged game, isn't it?
It feels very rigged.
Wrestling, like a wrestling match.
Yeah.
These fools, bro. Some of these lefty channels are like, Chuck Schumer betrayed us. Like, what made you think Chuck Schumer was on your fucking side in the first? You fucking internet dumb fuck. Like, who the fuck told you that? Chuck Schumer betrayed us. Like, what the fuck? Have you not seen Chuck Schumer in action before? Like, come on, dude. That's the way I view it with Trump, where Jimmy's like doing this thing. Like, how do you not see what's right in front of your eyes, dude? How do you not see this? I don't understand it. I'm not some fucking genius. I'm not a political genius. I get half my stories fucking wrong. I'm guessing here. I'm like, I heard of that before, and yet somehow I notice these things that Jimmy, who spends his life on this shit, can't fucking do it. It's a ghost to him. He doesn't see it. It's incredible. It's disappointing too. He's one of the guys I liked. I liked him because he was like I care about this on a moral level. And now what do I hear? Morals don't matter. It's about the results. And you know what? I'm gonna sit back and wait for these guys' results. It's like, yeah, but you wouldn't do that for anyone. Like, I don't get it. It's disheartening, man. You fucking trash can. You out of shape Eckhart Tolle dropout trash can, bro. Fuck. He needs to hear this too, bro. Someone send him this shit. Someone do it. I
You
don't
need to
know. It's
wait for
trash.
Chuck Schumer's results. Like you just vote a little bit harder for him, and he'll go left.
God. Like enough is he totes around the fucking network movie shit. Like, I'm angry as hell. I'll never get over that. I'm mad as hell. I'm not gonna take it anymore. Like, what do you think that means, Jimmy? That means sit back and wait for the results. I don't get it. I don't understand, dude. Fuck.
Oh, Jim Jeffries did a speech right after the CR thing today, and he said, "We are wholly against the government shutdown, but we are good for a government showdown." And then a interviewer
God,
or a
wrestler.
journalist instantly asked him, "What's the difference between a shutdown and a showdown? What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Next question." He literally said that. Next question. Like, I'm not addressing this.
Yeah. God. Meanwhile, Kyle's sitting back waiting for them to put out free school lunches. Look what the Democrats put out today. School lunches are now free. Like, that's awesome, Kyle. That's awesome. You know, Trump's gonna like murder someone today, right? He's gonna drop a bomb somewhere, and someone's child's gonna die, right? And the guys that are supposed to be fighting him would do the same fucking thing if they were in office. It's like, you can't tell me shit like this, bro. It's fucking depressing. But thankfully, I don't need any testosterone boosters. I don't need any no batteries in my back. No nothing. I can genuinely get animated and upset about all this shit. But Jimmy, though, his spiritual backbone is in pieces on the fucking floor. All right, here we go. There's no way I make it through this video, so
It's like
keep playing a little bit.
they're getting rid of it's like a revolution against the neocons. That's what it feels
It's
like.
a revolution
to me.
against the
and again, we'll have to
neocons.
see how it plays out. Now, his Achilles heel, and it's shared by everybody in his cabinet, is Israel Palestine. That's from my point of view. And now he's
Look at the terms. His Achilles heel. What does that mean? His weakness. What does that also mean? His blind spot. He doesn't know what he's doing there. He just doesn't get it there. He's just messing it up. And it's like, he's been bombing Somalia the whole time, right, Jimmy? And now Jimmy's gonna wait till he openly says, "I'm gonna bomb Yemen today." Now Jimmy will notice. The guy who has all the journalists in the world coming to his show, like, I want to be on the Jimmy Dore show and explain what's happening. You've had T-Lav on. Have him on, but don't talk about vaccines. Talk about foreign policy with Last American Vagabond. Do that shit. Talk about Trump with Last American Vagabond and let him go. Hit record and say, "Go ahead, T-Lav. Tell my audience what you think." He can't. He's not going to do that because he doesn't watch T-Lav, bro. He doesn't watch his fucking shit. Let's be real. They're just on. They're guests that are on his show. I don't think he actually watches these motherfuckers. Unless they full-throatedly, no pause, ride in his direction. Possibly. I can't say. To be fair, I can't say what he watches or not watches. But my guess is when Last American Vagabond, who talks about Trump every single video, like all the problems of what's happening, from Doge to foreign policy to domestic policy to free speech to all of it. He's covering all of it because he thinks Trump is full of shit. Just like I think Trump is full of shit. So thus, scatterbrain Ryan Christian, where he's like scatter, he has 8,000 tabs open. He's fucking going over every little detail of what's wrong with Trump. Bring him on your show, Jimmy. Let him host your show one day. Give him a 4-hour block. Do not switch to Rumble. Turn the DVR on. Let people rewind and let him go. Release it to the public. Say, sorry, members. This is not your day. Sorry, members. We're not going to just leave this live stream just for members only. No, this is going to be for everyone. Go ahead, T-Lav. Present what you want to present. And that fool will dismantle Trump in 3 to 4 hours. And then you're going to have to ask yourself, like, and Jimmy, you'll lose a lot of viewers, let's be real. You got a lot of Trump fans over there that are like, no, and they'll fucking close the tab and watch someone else. When's Jimmy coming back? But if that's the thing, then you got bigger problems, right, Jimmy? If you see that your audience can't listen for information from other people, then you got a big problem, don't you? But we're not here for that. We're here for whatever the results are. Let's sit back and wait for the results to happen. This is incredible, dude. I never thought I would hear this shit from this guy, but I'm hearing it.
Jordan, you were not free speeching correctly.
I mean, you're right, Dubster. I should have banned you a long time ago. But, I let you be here. No, but for real, it's just like, I don't know.
You're not pro Trump. You're not free speeching correctly.
Seriously, forget about Ryan Christian. He's all over the place. I like what he does, and I like the way he does it. He's like very ordered, but way all over the place. If that makes sense, but it's very ordered, very organized. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate the way he does shit. It may not be for someone who's trying to like, I just want to podcast while I drive to work in the morning, right? He might not be for that because it's a lot of, like, you got to intake a lot of information. But he does a good job. But maybe someone like Whitney Webb, who's very more like, structured or more like slower paced and like, here's information that you can understand very clearly. Like, give her 3 hours and let her go. Let her just talk. She'll tell you about all the technocracy things in regards to, she's more on that side of things, I think. In regards to like Elon Musk and Thiel and the fucking OpenAI guy and all these motherfuckers and what's going on that front and their ties to JD Vance and the Trump administration and all that shit. Like, let her go on that. Like, guys, let her go. But to outright just say, yo, guys, let's sit back and watch and see what happens is that shit, bro. People that you've given credit to, Jimmy, are saying, hey, there's problems right in your face that we're pointing out right now. And they're big warnings for what could happen later on. And Jimmy's just like, nah, you gotta give him a chance. Let's step back and see what happens. I can't believe he's saying that. I'm wrecked, bro. But, all right. Do you want to say something, Lobster? I don't know if I was cutting you off. I just got really pissed off, though.
Trump is awesome. Don't ever question Trump. How fucking dare you? Israel is great. When we're gonna make Israel great again.
See, here's the thing. I have some sympathy and some empathy because you saying that could have been like a bannable or hate speech offense or strike worthy by YouTube not too long ago, guys. Not too long ago. So thus people put up a fight against it, right? And they'd, not Jimmy, but other people would put up a fight against it, right? It's like, oh, I'm still going to say what I want. I'm going to talk about this topic. I'm going to talk about the vaccine. I'm talking about this or that, whatever. I'll stand up to it, right? But don't get lost in the sauce, man. Like, although those arguments,
he sucks at vaccine topic too. Yeah, Trump sucks at vaccine topic as well.
Oh yeah, Trump does. Yeah. Well, come on. I have the best vaccine. We're gonna get it out to everyone. It'll be your choice, but it's gonna be the biggest, best ever vaccine ever. It'll be in your face. You'll have it everywhere. Sit on the vaccine. Sit on it. Sorry.
Remember, this is death penalty shit too. Like, it's what was the Nuremberg trials? You can't, without informed consent, you can't do experiments on people. Otherwise, that makes you a Nazi eugenicist that deserves the death penalty.
Yeah, but that's been happening forever. Forget about Trump. That's been
No, but
happening
that's
where
what I'm
we
saying.
experiment on people.
If we're not going to acknowledge that, we're not even acknowledging something we established.
Yeah.
Like, we justified the war on Germany via the Nuremberg trials afterwards.
Yeah.
So we declared eugenesis a death penalty charge, and yet Trump, what was it? What warp speed it?
Operation Warp Speed. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, maybe that was ignorant. That's the leeway he gets. But then to continue supporting it to the point where he invites the Pfizer guy on his second term into a building, and everyone in the audience boos this guy. If you ain't fucking clear on how everyone looks at Pfizer at this point, I just don't get it. That's some hard reality disconnect.
I think he doesn't care because I think he realizes he gets support anyways. Like, oh, they'll boo me on this, but don't worry, they'll love me over here. And it'll also be something
Right.
that's
Like,
harmful to the public, but
they were there because they appreciated Trump. But when he invited the Pfizer CEO up to the podium to talk for a second, they all booed him until he just, no, I guess I'm not talking here.
But if he could shoot somebody on Fifth Street or Fifth Avenue and not lose a vote, then
That's New
like,
York,
I
though.
guess you could bring the Pfizer CEO to
I
talk.
knew what he meant by that. He was accurate. You could shoot
Look-
anybody on Fifth Avenue, he wouldn't lose a vote.
look, he's
Yeah,
still
so he
covering
could-
for him and shit. Ups are covering
No,
for his
that's
motherfucker.
logical.
Well, that's New York, though.
Republicans
No
in
one
New York.
cares.
Hmm.
He's gonna have a meeting with Bill Gates too, by the way, for the global sense of vaccines and all that shit. 100% he is, if it hasn't happened already. So, but whatever.
Right.
Let's play a little bit more. It's had not even 5 minutes into this video, and we have an hour of content. And because I just get frustrated, it's infuriating. It really is. But I'll say a little more, then I might cut it off. I'll keep playing afterwards, but I might stop the recording. Here we go. For my computer,
his
fucking
solution is not a
explodes.
solution, but other people say, well, yeah, that's just him negotiating, doing art of the deal. He wants to move all the Palestinians out. That's just it. I'm like, okay, I don't know what the deal is he wants then, but anyway, so
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm excited in a lot of ways, and I think there is a realignment happening for sure. I think the fact that
You're
Donald Trump is
excited.
a Republican just is kind of happenstance. His
By happenstance.
rhetoric.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the shit? I mean, is he really a Republican?
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
if you don't want to fucking keep hearing about trannies, I guess you're a Republican now.
Jesus Christ.
If they run on abortion and trannies, I guess the only thing that makes you a Republican is not being in support of Republican trannies. Or not being in support of abortion and trannies.
I'm just gonna let Jimmy let's let him give long even though I could pause it at any moment here off of shit he's saying. Like simple words you say, I'm like, I could pause it here and go on a 20-minute rant about it. But I'm gonna try my best. Just let him talk.
Move the Palestinians. Oh well, anyways.
5D chess. Here we go.
I'm excited in a lot of ways, and I think there is a realignment happening for sure. I think the fact that Donald Trump is a Republican just is kind of happenstance. His rhetoric around immigration was shared by every Democrat since Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton used to rail against illegal immigrants, saying they come here and take our jobs, and they
you don't
come
like
here
Bill
and use
Clinton.
our services. Hillary Clinton said they have to learn English, they have to pay a big fine, they have to they're all the same thing with Barack Obama. But
But you really don't like those guys, so then you don't like when Trump says it either, right? Like he's trash for following these guys. Like no, I get mad that people get upset at Trump for saying things that Democrats have said, and thus that makes me like Trump more, which is what. That's called 5D chess working on your dumbass, not on regular motherfuckers, bro. On your dumbass, that shit worked. Like he 5D chessed you, bro. Not me though. I have my fucking eyes and ears, and I'm looking at shit. Fucking idiot. Anyways, sorry.
then
I'm
when
trying to
Donald
let him
Trump
go.
got the nomination, I think that they had to figure out a way to separate themselves from him, right? Because they're a party of Wall Street, the Democrats. Then they said they're not a party of workers, and they knew that, so they had to.
Hip
We'll paint him as
hop.
a racist, and we'll paint him as a traitor.
Republicans have always been known as the party of Wall Street.
I think both have. In modern
No, but
time,
like until the last 4 years, for 50 years, the Republican Party's been known as the party of Wall Street.
I think they've both been, but yeah.
No, I know they both have been, but known to the general public in simple, like, oh yeah, once you get rich, you become Republican.
Yeah. Or you get
That was
older. Yeah.
the thought. Yeah, even though it's not exactly true. It's just that's kind of the saying.
Yes.
Well, taxes.
Yeah. To cutting taxes, cutting regulation would be in big favor of Wall Street / corporations, right? Like on the surface, at least, that would be.
Right.
Well, if you
But
make
it
a
doesn't
lot of
matter
money,
because on the Democrat side, what they do is we're not going to cut the taxes, but you specifically, you get a deal. So
Yeah.
it's the same effect. It was just one was public, one was secret.
Yeah. Shit
well,
goes
it's a big
down.
difference.
Good.
Yeah, if you're paying like 20, 25% on your taxes, but if like if you make a lot of money, you're paying close to like, especially when you add state tax and all the other things, like close to like 50%, like at the top. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a incentive to want less taxes when you make more money.
Yeah. Okay. There we go, Jimmy.
And a lot of that just
Good.
is shuffling which new state gets the new contracts for the next buildings. That's how they really hide that shit. Is sure you may get elected in office for this, but since we're the weak party right now, our states are gonna allow some of the regulations light. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more ignorant on the financial side of things, but I do recognize that Obama did a bailout for Wall Street, and then Trump did a bailout for Wall Street. And the bailout was actually Obama's bailout was after I think Bush's bailout as he was leaving office, right? With what's the Hank something? I forgot his fucking name. When the housing bubble was crashing.
The bailout happened under Obama. The crash started at the end of Bush.
But they were making some. They were influxing
2007.
money. That I think they were influxing money
Yeah,
though. I think.
2007, I think, is when the crash happened. 2008, 9 is when the bailout happened.
Mm-hmm. Then Trump with the airlines during COVID, right? Like billions of dollars to motherfucker. Like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Well, no one's gonna be flying. So you
Whatever
gotta.
whatever that sum of money was that we got 3,200 personally from altogether. Like,
Yeah.
it only required so much, but it was like 10 times that, which was bailout in some form.
Yeah.
I think it was like 40 billion was given to the general public, and 400 billion or something was given to all these businesses.
Well, you gotta keep them alive because they trickle down. They create the economy, bro. Yeah, job
Mhm.
job creators. You know, if you're a
We're
small
gonna pay
business and
you
your
so
personal business
yeah.
goes down, you ain't seeing money like that. Fuck out of here. You ain't seeing
pay you
paper
all
like
this money to shut everything down.
that. All right, here we go.
Not a party of workers, and they knew that, so they had to, oh, we'll paint him as a racist, and we'll paint him as a traitor to our country. And so now all the things that they used to say about it, I mean, he's a little more bombastic about his
He's using
immigration,
Tim Pool words.
but the message is almost
Bombastic.
exactly the same. And so that's why they, and 45% of Hispanics voted for him. So
And I think 55.
Are you campaigning? He already won, Jimmy. What are we doing?
54% of men.
Is Jimmy saying he voted for him or something? Like, I can't tell. Because he brought Cordell West on and scorched the motherfucker, didn't he? Didn't he go after Cordell West, who's also running for president in 2024? Didn't he go after Cordell West? He's supposed to be his hero. What's that?
Cordell West ran for president.
Yeah, exactly. He came on Jimmy's show and got basically dismissed as like, that's a bad strategy. That's a non-winning strategy. It's like, wait a minute. You gotta hold feet to the fire, like Cornel West. But then Trump just gets this leeway of like, let's sit back and see what happens. Because Jimmy was worried about the woke stuff in regards to Cornel West, I think, if I remember correctly from watching some of that interview. And it's like, yeah, but that's always been Cornel West. He's always been saying these things for like decades, bro. That's been his position for decades. Now it's like, no, you gotta win the Trump supporters over by not talking about, rights for minorities and gay people and whoever, right? But it's like, Jimmy, his foreign policy is 10 times better than like on paper, is 10 times better than Donald Trump's foreign policy by a mile. Because he cares about those exact things. So if you're going to follow material results, wouldn't he be your guy? You don't think Cordell West would try to get healthcare, universal healthcare? Trump's going to be nowhere near it, right? He's never going to do that. So why would he's like, what? Jimmy did what Kyle Kulinski did to other people, other quote-unquote Democratic supporters or whatever, or progressives, when Bernie was running. He's like, yo, get the fuck out of the way. Let Bernie do this. Stop bringing him down, bro. Stop criticizing him, bro. Get out of his way. Get the fuck out of the way. Jimmy Dore just did that with Cornel West, where he's like, what you're saying, it ain't going to help. You're not going to get elected unless you follow these rules, bro. Start talking about how woke everything is and how bad it is that it's so woke. That's what it came off as, and it's just like, God damn it, that's pathetic, bro.
Was that the end of Cornel West? Was Jimmy Dore?
No, well,
okay.
A decent amount of his, maybe the audience members that were like lifelong Jimmy Dore people that also like Cornel West, and then they're like, you know what, Jimmy's right. Let's play strategy, bro. Let's play the strategy game. Let's join. Let's do what Kyle's doing. Let's shake our asses for some strategy where we don't even get what we're asking for. Whatever Jimmy was asking for, it's going down the drain as we're speaking right now. I'm telling you, bro. And once again, like Jesse said, like tweets showcasing that, oh, see, look, things worked out, is not going to cut it, bud. Show me the documents. Get Alex Jones in it. Show me the fucking documents. That's what we fucking need. No bullshitting, no marketing.
Cornel West didn't primary Biden for 2024.
No, he didn't run as a Democrat. No.
Oh,
he was
independent.
Green Party, was he? Green Party, independent, something.
Okay.
One of those.
Yeah, it's something not in the red or blue team.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Male has like Latinos.
Oh, really?
It was like a majority of Latino men, as I understand it, which was that's gotta be the first time in like since World War II probably that a Republican got a majority of like a large minority vote like that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they say his numbers didn't go up.
As a result, They deported their uncles and cousins and friends and their neighborhoods. And can you imagine that? If there's like American, right, Latin voters, and then but they had probably family members maybe who are not legal in that sense, or maybe they know someone who's like that. And Trump goes, maybe that's what they're voting for. Like, yeah, get these motherfuckers out of here, bro. I could believe that too. I could believe that. But if they didn't realize that and that should happen, that'd be crazy.
Get MS-13 now. That's my bad cousin.
But it's not just like,
Sick of this fool always steal my cereal every morning.
unfortunately,
I
it
know they're
wasn't just
looking at this.
MS-13.
They're talking about this like stats, right? Like, but like, why are they saying those two statistics? Right? People don't just bring them up for nothing. They're trying to say like, wow, like, they're trying to make it as an impressive thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, to me, it really sounds pretty racist because like people don't like. This is a very wide like variety of people, as far as I can tell, and it's like, well, they're Latin or not, or they have, they traditionally vote Democrat. Yeah, they do, but like they're picking from policies and whatever, whatever their reasons are. They're like just most everybody.
Yeah.
Like
Hey.
what would why are they saying these things, right? Like it's kind of strange. Like they're essentially they're trying to boost up the guy by
Yeah.
saying this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, equivalently, they could just be like, look, there's Democrats are so poor of a candidate, like Biden, he just, I mean, he was there most of the time and he ended up like, we saw that he couldn't deal with it, right? And then they had Kamala, whatever. But equivalently, they could have made an argument that Democrats had such a bad choice. But that's not how they're
Yeah.
presenting this.
Yeah. I mean, and they say this right after the immigration shit. They say this. Interesting, huh? Oh boy. Okay. Here we go.
Up with African Americans from the last time. I mean, but I think it was over 20%, which is still kind of amazing for a Republican, any Republican, and especially a guy who they painted as a racist.
Okay, I'll keep this quick. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also if they
I won't be, my friend.
I saw there was a senator there.
COVID
Right before
normalized censorship.
you showed up, I saw there was a senator.
I want to see if they say anything bad about Trump. COVID. Don't trust the expert. Climate change. Medicare for all. Okay. What happened to Bernie Sanders? Do left and right exist anymore? That sounds interesting. Which media sources can be trusted? What Jimmy loves about America. War is the health of the state. Democratic. Fuck Christ, man. I think I'm done. I do this last one here. Let's see. What media sources can be trusted? That scares the shit out of me.
They're just gonna say social media.
Yeah. Do the left and the right exist anymore? I'm curious. Because I'm not a left-right guy. But Jimmy claims to be. So let's hear it. Here we go.
One of the things that is so interesting about the moment we're in with all of this is like, the whole terms like left versus right came out of the French Revolution. It was like, oh, if you're on the left, you were like the Jacobins and like the anti-monarchists, and if you were on the right,
already.
you were sort of with the aristocracy and the monarchy.
Jacobins were the communists before the communists.
It's like, it's sort of like
Fair
the
enough.
Trump team would be the left. Like they're the insurgent. They're the closest thing to
Dubster, how do you feel about
insurgent
that?
that's
How do you feel about that?
Go back. I didn't hear it correctly.
Let's go back. Hopefully this captures it. Here we go.
French Revolution. It was like, oh, if you're on the left, you were like the Jacobins and like the anti-monarchists, and if you were on the right, you were sort of with the aristocracy and the monarchy. But today, it's like, it's sort of like the Trump team
would be the left. Like they're the they're the
Oh.
closest thing to an insurgent that's trying to take on the entrenched interests. And what we've called the
Are they?
left seem to be in favor of all the things that that Walmart does on Twitter. You know, it's like there's all
Hey,
the
boss.
same. So
It's,
Does he
Sort
take
of.
offense to this
what am I
enough?
watching? God.
But the Jacobins were not. No, the Jacobins were not. They were against the Stras, the
Atrocities?
fiefdom. The I can't say that fucking word.
Atrocities is what you're saying?
No, astrocracy. What is it? It's
Aristocracy?
yeah. When they were against that, it was they were attempting to gain power and create their
All right.
own
I got
version
something
of.
to say.
Yeah.
They
So-
won their own feudalism.
Okay.
Okay.
Go
About
ahead.
anti-stock. Now I can't say it, but
Right.
we're talking about rich people, right? Like so. And
No, like the
if we
power.
think about, yeah, exactly. So w- when we think about currently today, like okay, left, right, they're making an argument that there's a change in the winds, but we're talking about Trump, who is if we look at Trump, okay, obviously he's a billionaire, and who he likes around him, like the whole Doge thing with Elon Musk, he's the richest person ever, like, and by a long shot. And the people who he likes to surround himself with, when he was giving, or when they were talking about with OpenAI, $500 billion on the first day, he was there with Larry Ellison, and these are the this is the network. This is that big club up there. So, like, I just wanted to like paint that picture as I listen to what he's saying right now.
And to be on the side of the king would also be on the side of the religion too. So that puts him back on. He is correctly on the right. He's establishing the traditional values of America.
Oh,
So that aspect of him would be on the right of the French Revolution, supporting
but is he
the king.
hyper
He's supporting
anti-monarch?
religion.
Is
He is the monarch. That's his fucking point.
That's not what this guy's saying. That's not what this movie director's saying. Like he's saying something
Well,
way different.
there's aspects to him that yes, he is fighting entrenched power, but he's also siding with entrenched power.
That's just team affiliate. That's just team sports, right? I want my empire to win
So
over your empire, but hold on, real quick. Seemingly, it seems like they kind of fold on top of each other in many instances. Maybe not the exact war,
and
but the
then
war on terror
I'm
is the
talking
thing
about the
that's
difference.
going on. Okay.
I'm highlighting the differences though when we're talking about the difference between the left and the right of the French Revolution being the Jacobins versus the aristocracy. Said it, yay.
But
So the difference is it would still be yes, he's attacking old entrenched interests, but he's also defending old entrance interests.
I think, well, also the idea of attacking them. I think you. I don't. I need to see like what the attacking means because I see once again in
Yeah.
politics I see a lot of fucking partnerships that yeah sure on the surface when they argue in front of me and you right they sound like they're enemies right but then the policy that rolls
Right.
out they end up being on the same team
Just
it
like
seems
Thomas
like
Massey did.
well there you
Yeah,
go
like Thomas Massey just demonstrated. I'll trade you this for this, but what do we get? You get a not government shutdown. All right, I'll give you 10 Democrats. Thomas Massey
Yes,
called us
Game
out,
of
right? I
Thrones.
think we need to give it 2 more, so it doesn't look like Thomas Massey did it.
That sounds like Game of Thrones, my friend. Sounds just like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah.
And if someone's in there not playing around, they're gonna isolate. Like, you get this guy out of here. Like, oh, this guy's here
Like
for like
Thomas
actual
Massey?
shit. Get him the fuck out of here. We don't want to hear him talk anymore. Get him out of here.
Well, what was that person that was Georgia politics, and she said, "I just want to take the APAC. I wouldn't
What?
sign the APAC deal, so they kicked me out of Congress."
Oh, fuck it. You mean fuck, black
This was
lady.
years ago.
Fucking.
Uh-huh.
Why am I fucking her name up? I just saw her doing an interview. I didn't watch the interview, but I saw her doing one. Fuck. Why am I forgetting her name? I know what you're talking about though. Fuck. It'll come to me. But
Yeah, it was at least 10 years ago when she gave that interview
I know I want to get her
explaining how
fucking name.
she got kicked out of Congress because she went and signed the APAC deal.
I can see her face. I can't say her. What the fuck's her name? Fuck. I know what you're talking about. And she left. She left basically the Democratic Party because, well, let's be real. She got ousted essentially, and then she
Yeah,
started doing Green
she,
Party shit.
She got attacked. She got primaried and kicked out.
Yes, and then she started doing Green Party shit.
I don't think she left on her own. It just because they attacked her so hard, she didn't have a possibility of getting reelected.
Yeah, and there was no Cynthia McKinney. Jesus Christ, that's what you're talking about, right? Cynthia McKinney.
You tell me, man.
I
remember seeing the interview, and she's a black lady.
It's Cynthia McKinney who you're talking about. I'm very sure that I'm talking about, at least. And she, there was no internet back then. There was internet, but there wasn't like the way internet is now, where like social media type shit, to where like Thomas Massey has people like coming to his support, like straight up, like all over the internet because they've seen what he's done and they like him for having integrity for what he says, right? Cynthia McKinney, let's be real. How many people are watching C-SPAN all day to see her stand up against what's happening with the war on terror, the support of Israel, all this shit, the fucking lobbyist groups? Who was watching C-SPAN for her to see her say all that shit? So
yeah, she got famous afterwards, like
yeah,
years afterwards for her actions.
Yeah. The C-SPAN clips had more views after she was gone already for a while before instead of like live people saying that. So yeah.
She's a badass. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she spoke up. Not saying I agree. She has some other weird theories, but I'm not gonna say I agree with everything with her. But do I think she means well and she's trying to like get shit out there and she should have the right to fucking say it? 100%. It's just when I say, this is not like I'm bragging, but when I say I mean that shit. Meaning, if I'm president, I'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Go ahead, Cynthia. What do you got to say? Let everyone know. No, there's no time limits today. We're working today. No time limits. What do you got to say? Oh, this guy wants to argue with you? Go ahead. Get up on the podium with her. Okay, you guys debate right here. Let's do it. Let's hear it. Before I make a decision, I want to hear you all fully debate. But that shit don't happen, bro. We're dealing with dumb fucks. And dumb fucks in the sense of corruption, in my opinion. Not in the sense of, like, they don't know what to do. It's that they know what they're doing, and it's not in your favor, the American people's favor. So that's why it's, like, dumb in the sense of corruption, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this, since we're on the topic of dumb.
Oh, my God.
Do you think Donald Trump had a dream and God told him, I know Israel's fucked up right now, but you have to defend them, even though you can't explain why you're defending them. You just have to, because they're the chosen people.
This fool says why he's defending. Like, the only democracy, the same old shit we heard during the Bush era and any other era, right? The only democracy in the Middle East. The rest of these terrorist groups out here. And then the religious shit, all that, and he doesn't really even. That's probably the most he says. I don't even think he says too much, like in verbal defense of what's happening with Israel. He just doesn't say anything about it. if you're on the bad guy team,
That's
as
what
far
I'm
as he's
saying.
concerned, he'll just say it. He'll be like, "Oh, that's a terrorist sympathizer." But as far as in favor of
That's what I'm
Israel, he
saying,
didn't say too
because
much.
that's how it looks at this point. It's like he read the Bible and he read the edited version where it says Jews are the chosen people. You must protect them at all costs. They can never be wrong.
Okay, Dumpster, do you believe that?
No, he told us we kicked them the fuck out because they couldn't fucking be there until Jesus returned.
Jesus Christ! Didn't he
Those aren't
convert?
even the people.
Didn't he convert, Dubster? I still got to check you on that, don't I? I forgot to look it
As
up.
far as I know, he did. As far as I know, he did. But he went to the whaling law and he did the whole fucking ball thing.
Watch this
His daughter
penguin,
converted.
this orange penguin, bobbing and weaving on a fucking wall is hilarious to me. Like, bro, I'm like, yo, this fool don't believe in this shit. Get the fuck out of here, bro. He's just doing this shit for the cameras, bro. He don't believe in this shit. No chance. He puts his hand on the Bible. He don't believe that shit, bro. He's a businessman. He's here to take care of business. This ain't no spiritual, religious God shit, bro. I don't believe that at all, man. Either that, or he's just so, the way he talks is just so like unrealistic to me that I just don't believe him. Maybe that's it. That's my own bias, maybe. But whatever. All right, let's continue. There we go.
Has the left and right just completely reversed, or is left and right just stupid and doesn't even make any sense in our politics now to even think in terms of left and right?
I think it's confusing to try to think in terms of left and right. Just like I laid out at the beginning of this show, was that the things that the left is supposed to be traditionally about, they're not, right? And the Democratic Party is now beholden to Wall Street. And as my friend Russell Dobular says, if you're a left party that's in bed with Wall Street, there's no point to you, which is why they have to push identity politics, because that's all they have left. And identity politics doesn't come from the bottom up, it comes from the top down. And why? As Christian Parenti explained to me on my show, son of Michael Parenti, they've been doing this since World War II. It's the NGOs like the Ford Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, work hand in hand with the deep state to make sure that social movements don't have an economic component to them, right? So when did they, and so that's why they push identity politics. That's why the deep state pushed feminism. Yeah. What's her name? The big feminist. Now I'm blanking on her name.
Gloria Steinem.
Doesn't matter.
Jane Fonda.
No,
So I guess she's more like an anti-war.
Gloria Steinem.
Oh, right.
Said she was at CIA, and so that's the game. The game is that that's when did they kill Martin Luther King? Not when he was desegregating lunch counters, because that makes everybody money. And but it was when he was doing a poor people's march, when he turned against the Vietnam War, and he wasn't doing a poor black people's march. He was doing a poor people's march.
Well, that is about
Malcolm
intention,
X, when
right?
he realized that it wasn't a black-white thing, that's when they got rid of him. So that's what it's always those. That's where identity politics comes from. They want you to identify with your sexuality. They want the most important thing about you to be your skin color or your ethnicity or your race, and that's a mistake. And that's there to make sure people don't come together and divide people. And it comes from people like BlackRock. There's videos I've showed of Larry Fink saying,
I don't know if I agree with any of that. I just personally call
He
it.
doesn't agree with what he just said. That's the weird thing. Because he was, I guess he's changed and didn't tell anybody. He never announced it. He's not for feminism.
I thought he always pointed out, remember the thing with oh, look, cops are corrupt and they kill young black men. Like, that's identity based, right? So I think he believes in it to some degree. I think he's maybe saying like the corporate version that's being, shoved down everyone's throats. That's the thing he doesn't like. But there are real
He just said
people.
that somebody told him on the show.
But there are real
I'm just
people with
wondering,
identity reasons.
When did he quit being a feminist?
I don't know if I never heard him say anything about feminism.
Did he? Yeah, he was all about that shit until what? Did he start listening Tate?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard him. I don't think I've heard him say about feminism.
Oh, that was his army.
You mean like Code
Was it
Pink
Pussy
or
Hats?
something? You mean Code Pink?
Pussy has to turn them off.
Yeah, that's not Code Pink, bro. That was the Women's March. That was not Code Pink. With the pussy hats. With Madonna
Yeah,
and
Code
shit.
Pink is
Come on,
against
Code Pink.
war.
Never
It's
heard of
anti-war.
Code Pink. There you go.
Yeah, they're anti-war, but they also probably have some ideas about women being mistreated. Cornell has things about black people being mistreated, or any like a bunch of different groups of people being mistreated. That's been their thing. Maybe he's saying like, oh, the pseudo version that's passed down from fucking corporate America is not what I'm talking about. Okay, but to outright, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I can't say I know. It feels like
As far as I remember,
He
he was
supported a
something
woman for
the
president.
feminist movement.
the thing is, okay, let's say 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, something, my intuition, I don't have proof of this, but I think 10 years ago, if Jimmy said that thing right there, he would have lost a good amount of his audience, I think. I actually believe that. That's my intuition. I could be absolutely wrong, but that sounds like, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't sound like exactly what's trying to be said before. Like they actually took identity into account with his politics. I think he did do that. I think he did that.
He's integrated his audience into not having a solid belief on anything. So,
Well, 10 years ago, he was with the Bernie movement, right? Or
yes.
supporting Bernie.
Yes.
So at that point, that was he would have at least not been able to say those things.
Yeah, he's
Like-
best friends with
Yeah.
Kyle and Jack Uger, and he's on TYT. Yada yada yada. Now maybe he secretly disagreed with them and didn't say anything, but I don't think that. I think he actually. I don't know, man. Intuition says if he said this 10 years ago, his audience would be like, "What?" Because I think he does. He does tie. I think he did tie identity to certain political scenarios. Maybe he still does, and we're just misreading them. But or he's just pandering to this newer audience he has, I guess, which is creepy.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
I leave room. All right, here we go.
Important thing about you to be your skin color or your ethnicity or your race, and that's a mistake. And that's there to make sure people don't come together and divide people. And it comes from people like BlackRock. There's videos I've showed of Larry Fink saying we have to force DEI on corporations. We have to force it on them, and that's coming from the top down. And that's to keep the workers divided, and so they don't come together again. So it's not. You're right.
Well, Jimmy, there are people who actually believe in that, though. That's where I get mixed up because it's like you're still fighting for the working class. Well, then you have to understand there are people who believe in that. Like legitimately believe in that, but also believe in all your other social ideas, right? Like once again, I'm a big movie guy. There have been people who are like, you are subjugated from everyone. Like when we make movies, like we need this to be the face of the movie, and you need to be like a background character, or a sex object, or a punchline, or whatever. Like that's happened. Dave Chappelle, like, yo, they tried to put a dress on me. They kept asking me, yo, put a dress on. I don't think that's him talking about the trans movement trying to convert me to being trans. I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think he was saying, like, they want me to be a punchline instead of a real person. Like, that's been happening.
It was one that referred to Kevin Hart put a dress on multiple times.
Yeah, later on, yeah, sure. Because Kevin
No,
Hart.
I mean, isn't that what Dave Chappelle was?
No.
What was it? What's the guy that plays the short pimp in Friday or next Friday?
Cat Williams. But that's not who.
Cat Williams was talking about that, and then Dave Chappelle addressed it after he.
No. Dave Chappelle said it years. I watched it when it happened years ago because I was like, "Yo, where'd the Chappelle show go?" Right? The show just kind of stopped. right? And everyone's like, "Yo, where the fuck? Yo, where's Dave at? Africa." What the fuck?
Yeah, the $50 million thing.
Yes, they made
Oh,
like
he went crazy.
they made
He went crazy.
Yes, he went crazy. He's a drug addict. They all these stories like were I guess coming out. So then Dave sat down with inside the actor's studio and which is like a used to be like a famous like actor sit down and discuss their careers, right? And then Dave just went. He discussed his career, but he went further too. He's like, yo, they got these guys. They
So
put them
that
in
was
fucking
one of the
dresses.
reasons why he left. That was one of the reasons why he left. They wanted him to wear a dress, and he just wouldn't.
No, it was his show. But he felt allegedly, he felt like some of the racial shit was too, I guess, too laughed at too hard or something like that. Where it's like you don't get the point of what they're saying. It's more of just, I don't know. I can't even say. I really didn't. I don't think I got that answer from that interview. I heard theories, or like someone, so maybe a non-minority was laughing a little bit too hard at a certain joke, and he's like, "What am I doing this for? Then what the fuck is this? I'm supposed to be like teaching a lesson, maybe in his head or in his mind. And I'm teaching a lesson about race and race relations and all that shit and how people are and shit like that. But someone's just strictly just viewing it as punchline about black people or whatever the fuck he's talking about in the sketch. Allegedly, but whatever. Fuck it. Here's more playing. Here you go.
have to force it on them, and that's coming from the top down, and that's to keep the workers divided, and so they don't come together again. So it's not, you're right, it's not left right, it's the top
The left.
down. It's us against them. It's workers against the oligarchs.
Us against them.
And that's what I say at the end of my show, my stand-up show. You
Yeah.
know, it isn't left right anymore, because see, people can't tell me what left right means anymore. You know, so you got RFK
Some would say it was
Jr.
never
in there
left
going
right.
after
It was
corruption
always
in the FDA and the CDC and going to clean.
me personally. I'm saying corruption versus the righteous. That's what I would say. As far as actions, not people, but actions. Like we want good actions to replace the corrupt actions. That's where I'm at. So like jumping on left or right is just to me just stupid. I think it's just dumb. But yeah.
Do you think DEI was put in place to stop unions from rising?
I think DEI was some overambitious,
Never considered
politically
that
minded.
aspect because I didn't think. Yeah, I never considered that aspect.
I think there's real people who
DEI
actually
to
thought
keep-
about shit like race and sexuality and gender and all that. I think there's real people who actually thought about that and really lived their lives that way. And then it got taken over because, like, fuck, these guys have numbers. Let's start pandering to them and make money off of them. Like, yeah, Bob, let's do that. I think that's what happened. I truly do.
But do you think any of the aspects of what Jimmy's talking about is accurate, where DEI was put there to stop unions from forming and rising?
I'm not sure. I don't like as far as my
I haven't considered it because that's not my side. We don't like unions.
As far as I understand, unions don't do shit when it comes to corruption. They're kind of
They
like
are
just
corrupt.
social insurances of like, okay, we can stop corruption with this until it's the mob and its teamsters and all that shit. Now unions are not so great, are they?
That's what the union is. It's like,
I'm just saying, like,
The
I think a union can work. We can't have corrupt shit in there.
The unions get corrupt, but they are corrupted at the top of the union too. So
That's
they're
anything. Though.
corrupt. They're corrupt, but what people see is like, well, if shit is so bad that you can get something out of it, like I'll pay somebody out. Like I'll get everybody to pay into this pool of money of this, like, basically organization, if I could get like another dollar or something out. And you can't really blame them for getting more, but it's a built-in corruption because there's a structure in place where how do they get a chance to even negotiate all of that, right? Like, and how do they maintain the relationship with both the people, like just they call them workers, and the business, and have a seat at the table all of the time? It's not really by force. There's a cooperation in place that is a corruption.
Hmm. I personally don't believe in, I guess, systemic corruption. I think it comes from people's hearts and intentions. That's where I think corruption actually comes from. Thus, I think someone could be the president of the United States, the president of Disney, the president of the local fucking Girl Scouts. Whatever it is, it's up to people to make the actions or things that go on there corrupt or not. If they don't, if
Well,
it's something that is blatantly corrupt or unfair to other people, if their main goal is to look after people, and something's in the way of that, they would find a way to deal with it, unless it's some sort of corruption where they have to, make themselves wealthy or whatever. Sorry, I
the
sneezed.
unions also get to step into the government side too, and they get to make laws.
But that's
they're
anything,
lobbyists.
Dubster. Anything could be like.
I know, but what I'm
God.
saying is that's another angle of where they're corrupt at is they get to step into government as lobbyists, and they get senators, both sides, to
Yeah.
say this can't be done in this territory because there's a union.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, no
So
one's.
it's like a license to kill kind of idea.
Yeah.
It's like it's illegal unless you have this license.
Well, that's probably off the back of some other person's selfish, corrupt reasons or whatever, right? Possibly. But, like I said, obviously, I'm not even going to say obviously. I'll say in my humble opinion, from my own life experience, the actual corruption that we see in the world, like the things where bad shit happens that didn't have to happen type shit, is in the hearts of men and women, but I mean, like mankind, and nothing has shaken me from that opinion. Nothing has. All I've seen is that idea being reaffirmed over and over and over again. Government doesn't mean corruption to me. It doesn't mean that. If you take it for what it is on paper and you put healthy people in there, I don't think you have the problems you have. I really don't believe that. But if someone wants to dip into the fucking cookie bowl and get extra cookies and shit, yeah, guess what? You might have some problems there. But that came from that person or a group of people or the entire, maybe all the people in the structure. That's where I live, man, until someone proves me fucking wrong. Like, someone's went through the idea of psychology, philosophy, morality, went through all these ideas and came back and said, you know what? Systemically, that thing right there, that is corrupt by itself. If we left it alone, it would be corrupt. I need to hear those actually hear those arguments, because I don't believe them yet. I think it's from the hearts of men and women and trans people and gay people and black people and white people and Latino and Jimmy Dore's and what? Anyways, let's keep playing. Here we go.
The end of my show, my stand-up show. You know, it isn't left or right anymore because people can't tell me.
I don't think it's top down
left
either.
or right means
There's probably
anymore,
rich people with better.
So you
got rich people with a better moral compass than you, Jimmy. They may they might not be the business guy there. They might just inherit money. Either way, they might have more of a sense of sticking to their moral compass than you do, Jimmy. But it ain't top down either. It really isn't. Anyways.
RFK Jr. in there going after corruption in the FDA and the CDC and going to clean up the food supplies, go after big agra. You got Trump
Prove
and
it
stopping
first.
a war and wanting to make friends with Russia and China and floating the idea of cutting our military by 50%.
That was the biggest overlooked statement in the past several weeks. It was sort of
okay. Someone debunked that, I think. So this interview must be from weeks ago, right? This is a pre-recorded interview from weeks ago, and Jimmy didn't find out that Trump said, cut the military, but are you fucking kidding me? How the fuck would I do that? There's China and Russia out there. He used China and Russia as a reason to not cut the fucking military budget. He's trolling. Like, this is... If he knew about this and he says this, bro, that's propaganda, straight up. He's lying to people.
So
He
you
said
saying
the
that's a
word.
misreported statement?
He's
What?
he said the words Trump. Yeah, I remember Toaster. You reported that the first day he said it. You remember that stuff?
Oh, he
Trump
said the
I
words.
remember. Yeah, he said it.
And then what did he actually say afterward? Like, cut the budget? What the fuck? I would never do that. What are you talking about?
That's news to me. It's news to me.
You didn't know about that? Oh my god. I'll play it after
I
this.
remember the first one.
He said
I
it.
didn't hear that.
You
yet,
said,
so.
remember the interview with the... Fuck it, I'm playing it.
Yeah,
There we
I didn't
go.
hear that. I just figure it's not even really like the president that sets that, like the budget. So he could say it all he wants. Like
Right. Supposedly
Congress,
budget's house.
like Congress sets the budget.
Dome, you've got a lot of ideas. You said you wanted to do the Golden Dome. You've got a lot of ideas for America. But then earlier you said you wanted to cut $1 trillion in defense spending, right?
I didn't say I was.
You're not going to. So I was
never
like, which is it? Are you cutting defense spending or are you
I
building
said
us
I,
up?
I never said defense spending.
Okay, because I think you were talking about denuclearization,
Correct.
and that's where the cutting of
Correct.
the spending
Oh, okay.
came in.
I never said cut. No, it's not in these days. I'd love to cut defense spending, but not now. Because you have China, you have Russia,
Yeah, I'm
you have a
glad to
lot
hear
of
you say it.
problems out there.
I didn't see that.
No.
In fact,
No,
this,
what I have said is we spend a lot of money on nuclear missiles, nuclear weapons. The level of destruction is beyond anything you can even imagine. It's just bad that everybody has to spend all this money on something that if it's used, it's probably the end of the world.
wow. You said you wanted to do the Golden Dome. You've got a lot of
I
ideas
rest,
for America.
Your Honor, I rest
But
my
that-
case. Next.
Yeah, I said that
And
too.
here we go.
China and floating the idea of cutting our military by 50%.
That was the biggest like
Uh,
overlooked statement in the past several weeks. It was sort of
Then they
shocking.
overlooked
This
him.
was said like
By
let's
the president.
by the president.
and we overlooked
in the
them
Oval Office.
saying, no, I ain't doing
God,
that. Are you
Sounds
fucking
like
kidding me?
something that you would think Bernie Sanders would say.
No, they're gonna
Of course, he would
redact
never
this.
say it because he's also afraid of
You
the
gotta-
military
you gotta
industrial
correct the record.
complex and the deep state, and he does their bidding. And so, but there it is. And so so that's why, yeah, it does. So, you know,
By the way, I think he said this to Matt Taibbi, right? I almost said Matt Hunter again. Jesus, this dude, rent free apparently. But he said this with Matt Taibbi, I think, where he's like, he said Trump's going to cut 50%. He said he wants to cut 50% of yada yada yada. Matt Taibbi's like, oh, 8%. He had a different number. He's like 8%. Like what? I heard 50%. Like they were actually like, it's like Spider-Man pointing at each other. Is it 8 or 50%? Trump's like, it's neither. I'm not cutting nothing. I'm adding to it, you dumb fucks. What the fuck do you think was gonna happen? What did you think was gonna happen, huh? You thought I was gonna cut the fucking budget? China and Russia out there, bro. I gotta spend more money. That's
Said not now.
wreckage.
Like after he's out, you know.
Yeah, maybe. After he
Yeah, I
solves,
didn't hear that.
after he cures cancer and solves all world issues in his very last year, he will cut the military budget.
When all enemies are defeated, we'll cut the budget in half.
But terrorism
That makes sense.
has no face, Dubster. It can just go on forever and ever. Thus,
Well, no, I mean all enemies. Anybody who disagree with Lord Trump.
So once we wipe out China, and, like
Well,
Then we can
everyone
carry
that disagrees with them on everything, on anything,
then we won't need the military.
right?
Got it.
all right, there we go.
RFK said that there's been, he knows more about this than me, but there's been like 4 different political realignments in our nation's history politically. He said we're in the middle of one, and there's certainly some things happening. Glenn Greenwald talks about a realignment, and that and then the people who don't see it are the dumbest people around. And I'm like, well, I do see that. Donald.
I see.
When you see how hard.
I see you dumb fucks like quiet pandering to the MAGA crowd for whatever reason. Maybe it's views, maybe it's for political strategy. You can still mean well and do all this ass shaking. I understand. I think you pander. You guys pander a little bit. I don't think that might be a self-fulfilling prophecy if you trying to create some sort of realignment happening. Maybe, but whatever. I don't care about politics anyways. I don't want to see any moral realignment. I don't want to see that at all. That's what scares me, is the moral realignments. So we start letting shit go that you used to cry about because it was a big moral deal. I don't want to see that shit going away.
Hold on.
God.
You think you're going to feel the same once Palestine's wiped off the face of the earth about Palestine?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Am I going to feel the same about what? Palestine being what, like, that there was a moral crime happening? Yeah.
Move somewhere else, like to the. Well, that's done.
No, that's my entire point. Their thing is they're letting go the first 4 years of Trump. I'm not, or the past of U.S. foreign policy. They're letting it go. I'm not. I'm not forgetting.
I mean, then why aren't you worried about the Slavs that got erased from Earth?
Of course I am. I care about all of them.
Well, I've never heard you talk about how important the Slavic people are.
Because I don't fucking know about it. Sorry for not knowing all things at all moments at all times. But guess what? The idea of whatever they went through, the idea is already dealt with because I maintain my moral integrity. Thus, whatever the scenario is, you'll hear the same moral consistency with them that you would hear about Palestinians or Israelis or anything. So, it's already dealt with for me personally. If I all of a sudden said, you know what, fuck the Slavs, bro, kill those fools, but save the Palestinians. If you heard that from me, then you'd be like, okay, that guy's full of shit. He's morally inconsistent. He's full of shit. But you're not going to hear that from me. Anyways, here we go.
Hard the establishment was against Donald Trump, and how hard the establishment was against.
That makes them good because the establishment was against them.
And how hard they were against.
They're
Kash
so good
Patel,
people
and how
because of the
hard they were
establishment.
in unison. I mean, never Trumper Republicans and all the Democrats and the media, and they're against RFK. They're like, oh well, that. How could you? There's got to be something good about them, at the very least. If it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
No.
Well, especially when it's such a
Hear that all again. Listen to
Tulsi
this.
Gabbard, and how hard they were against Kash Patel, and how hard they were in unison. I mean, never Trumper Republicans and all the Democrats
Hold on.
and the media, and they're against RFK. They're like, oh well, that. How could you? There's got to be something good about them, at the very least. If it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So
that should be your
What?
Wow.
What? He's saying it out loud, dude. So, all I would have to do is make a shit ton of money and pay CNN to make smear pieces on me, and Jimmy will tote whatever the fuck I throw his way. He'll tote it around everywhere, won't he? That simple? That's all it took to buy you, Jimmy? That's it? God dang. That's simple kindergarten politics. Or, psychology, I mean. I said this a million times before. It's kindergarten psychology. My God.
Well, imagine how far that can go. Like you start off with like what we've seen so far. He used to talk about like subjects which
God.
he would point out MSNBC doesn't cover or they hide from you, right?
Yeah.
And so he started out like that, and this was his reason, and he looked at what was against them, and he kept structuring things, and then very clearly, because he was in favor of Medicare for all and these things, he then saw the Democrats as his enemy, right? Like he clearly made them a full bullseye in his his whole show, right? And now, well, obviously the enemy of his enemy, like this is what he's embracing. It's not really those policies, but he's just continued to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to like them. It's just because
No,
he's still using
that's
like workers, like he's still saying things like workers and using the same type of language and like the origins of those ideas.
Mhm.
But
which will never come from Trump.
yeah, that exactly. but
But sure, then your
but
focus
Trump is
is on
anti-democrat.
this. So he's the enemy of my enemy. Then that's your entire focus. All your other stuff is dropped until it's handled.
Jimmy is openly saying he fell for the most easiest marketing thing you could possibly do in modern day internet history is, look, they're trying to ban me. Damn, that guy must be right about something. That guy must be right about something. You know why? Because YouTube tried to ban him. So he must be correct about something. He fell for it. He's so out of shape, bro. This old man, this goddamn fucking phone scam Indian dude on the other line, phone scam ass, fallen for ass old man, bro. I'm wrecked, dude. So Jimmy gave his whole social security to some motherfucker in Pakistan right now. He gave his whole fucking all his info and shit, his bank account numbers. Like politically, that's what you're doing there, Jimmy. Do you realize that, bud? Like you're getting phone scammed. You don't realize it. Maybe I shouldn't be mad at him for that. Like, yeah, listen, that happens. So let me protect you, Jimmy. I want to make a beekeeper joke with Jason Statham, but no one's seen that movie. I can't do it. Anyways, let's play more of this. Here we go.
So
Well, especially when it's such a diverse group, like there's, it's not like
Jimmy
it's
got
an
phone
ideological
scammed, bro.
culture in that group. You're talking about like a wide range of views in just the people you just listed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I that's my message. My message is it's not left right anymore. It's us against them. It's populists against oligarchy. And Trump is, there's again a lot of things I disagree with him on, and I hope he
Disagree
doesn't
with. It's very
cut Medicare.
cordial.
I hope his cuts to Medicaid make sense, and they don't take a meat cleaver to it, as Steve Bannon said. And
As Steve Bannon
I
said,
hope he lives up to his promises
At the very least, okay, Steve Bannon interview. Got it.
about protecting Bannon said, and I hope he lives up to his promises about protecting Medicare and Social Security, and
What? Did you say
He
pause?
just said, I hope. Yeah, I hope Trump doesn't take an axe to Medicare.
Medicaid.
He said, whatever. He said that. The guy that ranted for years about universal health care. He's like, well, I hope he doesn't. It's like he's dropped that flag because it's us versus them, the populace versus the oligarchs. So then you're saying that the priority is let Trump do his thing to the deep state that you're hoping he's going to do. Because
So he could have his
that's the
way.
first thing that has to happen before we can even address my concerns, our new
Bless
people
me.
that voted for him, that crossed the aisle kind of thing.
Jimmy is a car wreck talking. I'm sorry. Like the words you can understand, but the overall like assessment of things, I think, is an absolute car crash, and it makes no sense. I don't think in reality. I don't think it does. It sounds sensible, like in words, but if you look into it now, it sounds right in HD cameras and a nice microphone while you're sipping coffee. You look clean and polished, right? I don't buy it. Something is not right here. It's someone needs to tell him, bro. One of his fucking workers, the people who do all, like the people who find all the news stories for him to do. Someone go talk to him and be like, "Yo, listen," because he sounds like an old dude that fell for a phone scam, bro. Someone saved Jimmy before he, you know, like, okay, sir, I need to remotely access your computer, and I need to. And Jimmy's just missing 20K out of the bank out of nowhere. Someone help Jimmy out. Anyways, here we go. I'm at mocking territory now because like if you don't catch this, that's on you, man. Here we go.
I hope he lives up to his promises about protecting Medicare and Social Security and, not taxing Social Security. I mean, all those things, like he's not going to tax tipped wages. He's not going to tax overtime. He's going to protect Social Security. I mean, he sounds like a progressive lefty a lot of times,
Jimmy's in for it for he's voted for, did he vote for Trump? Did he announce he voted for Trump? Because he sounds like
I don't think he did.
He's sounding like he voted for him, right?
It sounds
like
I was gonna say, bro. I'm like, is this him coming out saying, "Hey, man, voted for him"?
He's saying like he represents the little progressive values. That's him saying he's not. Am I tripping? Well, he says he's voting for him right there, or he did vote for him.
It sounds like it, but I don't know.
Did he vote for Jill Stein? But like, he's just waiting for the results. Well, she's not going to win, so hopefully Trump wins. Did he do that?
That would be my guess, but I don't know what he voted
That's a
for.
scary guess, Jesse. That's not good. That is not good. I'm going to vote for Jill Stein knowing she's not going to win, and I hope the Orange Penguin wins in reality. That's crazy. That's psychologically, like imagine that psychologically with the history we have of Jimmy Dore. That's fucking bananas, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, here we go.
Social Security and, not taxing Social Security. I mean, all those things, like he's not going to tax tipped wages. He's not going to tax overtime. He's going to protect.
Those are all campaign promises.
Sounds like a progressive lefty a lot of times, I mean, Joe.
All those things are not from when he won. Those are from before, right? That's him campaigning. Those are campaign rhetoric that he's using as like why he's more left than Joe Biden is, right?
Actually, not taxing doesn't sound all that left to me.
Well, he's saying like, don't tax workers, tax the rich instead. But Jimmy knows he's not getting that, so instead he said, yeah, tax the rich for the benefit of the workers," which is his imaginary scenario, I guess. But here we go.
Tipped wages. He's not going to tax overtime. He's going to protect Social Security. I mean, he sounds like a progressive lefty a lot of times, I mean, Joe Biden. Remember Joe Biden ran on the public option and then they never brought it up again. That was it.
It was actually really shocking to me that healthcare, like the system,
Joe Biden ran on the public option,
played no role in our politics in the aftermath of a pandemic that basically introduced like communist.
We're back to COVID already.
Okay. Yeah. And it was not talked about until the CEO of United Healthcare got shot.
That's right.
And only briefly, except in like
and then you're not supposed to. Shouldn't be celebrating this. I'm like, I already bought a float. But
I'm not.
They stepped on his joke right there.
But I mean, it is interesting that
he stepped on his joke right there. Sorry, entertainment thing. That's not the worst seemingly ad lib, but I think it's like written punchline he has. And that wasn't horrible. It's funny. Although I don't agree with the idea either. This guy can't do it because he's on a team. I don't do it for moral reasons, but that's not a bad, like, it's laughable. Like, oh, I'd laugh at that for a second. Whatever. Here we go.
That's right.
And only briefly, except in like
and then you're not supposed to. Shouldn't be celebrating this. I'm like, oh, I already bought a float. But
I'm not.
Why are you stepping on that, bro?
Saying I supported that.
The joke
but,
happened.
I mean, it is interesting that did bring the conversation in. It's actually it's tragic that that's what it took to bring the conversation even temporarily back.
It was very temporary. It's over. Yeah, like I don't know how people could be against a public option. I'm like, okay, because
we can go next time you come in. We have
Yeah,
more
you
time.
guys were
like,
saying
we can
Medicare for
go
all.
longer
Now you're
on
saying
that.
public option.
Public option is that you get to decide if you want to buy into Medicare. You get to decide, and then we'll let people decide. How could you be against that? You're a libertarian, right? You got.
So Jimmy's wait a minute. This is the perfect. I'm gonna end the video on this because this is perfect, right? Because you're not supposed to go for the public option if you're Jimmy Dore. It's either Medicare for all or nothing because they recognize that the public option will get fucked with by private health insurance, right? They'll fuck with their prices, thus making the public option not even worthy of it. And then once public option is done, they boost their fucking costs back up. Jimmy knows that, right? That's like a classic progressive whatever political stance. But now Jimmy's like, please, I'll take a public option, bro. Just give me that, please. Just give me that. I'll take it. He's trying to shift what does he say? Shift the Overton window. He's trying to do it himself right there, I think, with maybe more of a right-wing audience. He's trying to shift that window to where public option doesn't sound so crazy. Knowing that like it might fail and might, but at the very least, it's in the public consciousness now. That is where Jimmy's at. I'm wrecked, bro. All right, whatever. Let's hear the rest.
Is that why he's grinning?
Choice.
Is that why he's grinning?
Jimmy's like, how could you go against public option? Like that's where he's going. Like it's a win-win. You can't lose.
It's not though. No.
Well,
What you want is to where healthcare is so cheap you don't even need fucking insurance.
well, I think the idea, not my idea. I don't know shit about economics, but on the surface, it would be a win-win initially, where, like, boom, because the public option is this cheap, that private insurance would lower their prices so cheap that the public option becomes obsolete. You don't need the public option anymore. But then once they end the public option because no one's buying into it, you then boost the prices of the private insurance. So for a time period, it would be worth it, I guess. But overall, it would actually be hurt. Any type of like Medicare for all or universal health care arguments. As far as I understand, that's the main argument, I think. So, but Jimmy sounds a little bit desperate here. He's like, "I'll take the public option. Come on, guys." But that's what Biden, Kamala, Elizabeth Warren, like that's what those guys were doing back in those years. That you were like, "Oh, these guys are fake progressives. They're trying to subvert Bernie Sanders. They're trying to take his brand name of Medicare for all and give this fake bullshit version that's not going to work." But now Jimmy's out here crawling on his knees. Like, the public option, maybe that could work. That's the neoliberal thing that he would call neoliberal 10 years ago. This is incredible to watch, man. Oh, man. Interesting. Here we go.
The option is that you get to decide if you want to buy into Medicare. You get to decide, and then
That's what Biden said.
Next time you come
That's
in, we
what
have more
Biden
time,
was
like,
saying
we
too.
go
You
longer
dismissed
on
them
I
for
mean,
it.
public option is that you
Now
get
it's
to
good?
decide if you want to buy into Medicare. You get to decide, and then we'll let
guys are
people
so
decide. How can you be
fucking
against
trash,
that? You're a
bro.
libertarian, right? You got people get choice. So
You know, it's called the ratchet effect. It's
He's trying to move shit them to the
each
left.
each edition gets locked into place, and then the next one gets locked into place. It's like it's how the deep state got to be what it is, right? When I first came into this world of like thinking about politics in a big way, it was through Ron Paul, and specifically, I remember the moment he was on stage at it was like the 2007 primaries, and he talked about 9/11. And how it was CIA blowback for our role overseas, and Rudy Giuliani was like, "How dare you?" and came at him really hard.
yeah,
Pause.
Up until that point, I was more or less, like
All
a
right, I'll end it on
relatively
this one, I guess.
uneducated, like
2 hours
conservative
in.
Republican.
Fuck it.
Like it just was like, but there was something about that moment that struck and opened up a door to the possibility that everything I'd been told about our role, especially after the fall of the Berlin Wall, has been not what I've been told.
Yeah,
And I think that's the area where I've like found your show to be the most like enriching. Like you explode what's going on the international stage. How do you
Pause.
You went to.
Bro.
Also, yes, major pause. You go to Jimmy Dore for your foreign policy news?
Yeah, that's
I'm
bad,
wrecked. I'm wrecked. Oh, fuck.
I'd rather listen to Ron Paul.
Exactly. Just go to Ron Paul instead. Just listen to Ron Paul. Him and, what's his name? Daniel McAdams or something?
Yeah, Scott Horton. I'd rather listen to them guys. They know more.
Exactly. He's a libertarian, bro? Yeah, listen to fucking Scott Horton or the antiwar.com fucking channel on YouTube. Listen to that shit instead. Jimmy Dore is usually late by a lot. On like everything. He's really late on a lot of these topics. Whether it's political reasons or whatever, but he's usually late, to be real with you. So I'm fucking wrecked. I think I'll say this. Do you guys want to say anything? Anything you want to bring up? Any ideas you want to talk about? I'm kind of done with this video. I think it showcased exactly what the fuck I was thinking and what other people, because I stayed away from politics for a decent amount of time. Other people were telling me about this guy, and it sounds fucking true what I'm hearing when I'm listening to this fucking interview. It sounds fucking true what people told me. So you guys tell me, what should I do here? What do I do here? Anyone? Hello?
I don't know right now.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's-
covered everything that's currently going on.
No, yeah, I mean it's kind of like the last nail in a coffin.
Yep.
I think my heart broke a little bit watching it. I'm like, oh god, Jimmy, you fucking. I knew he's out of shape, but Jesus Christ, man, he sounds like he voted for these fools, bro.
Yeah, he sounds like he lost his faculties,
Bro,
and he's being paraded around like, oh,
I'm fucking wrecked.
no, he definitely. I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't know, Jordan. That's kind of on you, bro. You thinking that you like finding it surprising that he was rooting for this guy to win. I think that a year ago I could have told you this would be the case.
That's not the surprising part. I think it's
Oh,
more
really?
of. I would have hoped there was more of a reason for it. More of like, yo, I could just outright tell people, like, yo, I'm doing this because the Trump fans, like, they don't know about this or that. Like, name whatever topic he wants to, whatever topic, right? Like, these guys are ignorant of this shit. And I started like talking to like, yo, Trump fans, do you not realize they're all kind of against you? I'll wait to say about Trump, but for now, I will let you guys join my little comfort spot over here just for the sake of so that one day you figure it out. It's us versus them, right? Maybe his end thing. He said. Good.
Well, I think at the heart of what you're saying
I think
is
you.
he
No, I
thought.
don't agree. That's a.
Hold on. He thought that I'm gonna bring him in, and little by little, I'll get him more in line with my way of thinking, and in reality, his show just went more their way with no hardcore beliefs like anchored down, meaning he won't move from this
I
no
just
matter
heard
what the audience says.
Anthony. I just heard this fool argue for the public option, which was a no for these fools
That's what
for
I'm saying,
years. That was a no. You don't argue for public
Democrat,
option.
yeah. If a Democrat offered public option, he'd murder them. If Trump
Exactly.
offered public option, he'd be like, "That's it. Trump's the best president of all time."
Because you wouldn't expect it. That's why it's so good. Nah, I feel that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
No, what I think it is he has seen the light and now he is a Trump supporter and he He's thinking a public auction is negotiation ground for himself, not for you, for something he will bid on now.
It's
So
He has
what
changed.
I took away from this was that I think the part that stood out was that part where he's willing to accept somebody because they're the enemy of his enemy, and it made things a lot more clear to me, and the choices that he's been making so far. Because like, and if you've been supporting somebody because they were like the opposite of the Democrat for so long, like after a while, there's a bias in people to like keep supporting the thing that you've done. You know, like to have a consistency with yourself, because it's hard not to have a consistency with yourself, and you can manipulate people by just demonstrating. Well, you've said this before, and you can manipulate people into like supporting things that way because people want to like at least think that they're consistent. So that's what I saw out of this video that stood out to me.
God. Fucking wrecked, man. Well, all right, here's the thing. I'm not exactly surprised, but it still hurts to hear out loud. It's like, damn it, man. I did like Jimmy Dore, bro. I still like him. I think somewhere, maybe far away distance, far away galaxy means well or something like that. But how he's going about it is just like, goddamn, just put a suit and tie on and run for the Democratic Party, Jimmy. At this point, as far as like the willingness to bend on certain things are things that you're not supposed to be bendable on. That's why it just comes off as suit and tie shit instead of I'm the angry comedian. Right? It's like I don't know. It's trash. It's trash, basically. it it is what it is. Uh, okay. There's your video. Any comments before I'm about to end it right now? Any comments at all? All right.
Jimmy Dore is becoming closer to terrible.
He's getting closer to Tim Bull. God damn it! I said that shit about him like while it was happening, where it's like, you're Jimmy Dore. You're crying about YouTube, but guess what else is on YouTube's platform? And you say nothing about these guys. In fact, you claim to not know their names. But they're doing everything you're trying to pull people in a direction towards. Back when he was like, toting around the progressive ideas and let's do this, the working class and Medicare for all and cops are bad, yada yada yada, all that shit. When he's doing that, there's someone with a 2, 3, 4 times his audience saying to do the exact opposite. But he refuses to say anything about those guys. And I guess at this point now it's paying off. I guess. So it's not like some debate bro shit. It's more of like principles. Like, yeah, this guy's saying this, I don't agree with him. So if you're in my audience and you hear this guy saying this, here's my disagreements. Here it is. I don't need to fucking debate him or anything like that. It's just like I'm pointing out differences so that you realize here's what he's doing, here's what I'm doing. You don't need to debate anyone. You don't need to fucking, no timers, no nothing. Just say what the fuck you think and feel. But he let that shit fly. That shit flew all around him, bro. People taking down what he was saying. He said, "Oh, Tim Pool, yeah, he's all right." Meanwhile, Tim Pool, when your audience goes to Tim Pool, he's saying the exact opposite of what the fuck you're saying, dude. I couldn't believe he just let that fly. But it is what it is. He wants to avoid, conflict maybe. Maybe it's Joe Rogan like, oh fuck, I don't want to make anyone angry. Let's all be friends. Maybe he's that. I don't know. But it is what it is. I'm ending the video. Thank you for watching. God help. God help the Queen, aka Jimmy Dore.